Wow, dead silence.
I won't finish that sentence.
No, you're not allowed to finish that sentence. That sentence is forbidden from ever being spoken again. Like most of the stuff that happens before these recordings. But we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about D&D tonight.
Yay.
Sigh. I actually have to throw some puzzles at you guys tonight, so that'll be quite interesting. But for everyone watching, welcome back to Twisted Fates. As always, I am your Dungeon Master, and these are my boys. Craig, give a wave.
Hello.
Ewan.
Hello.
Matthew.
Hey.
And Paul. Who was late.
I'm here now.
Yeah, but I mean, to be fair, it makes no difference to the people watching this because they have no concept of when we're recording this, but I just want to go on record and say he was half an hour late. So...
I've got a life outside this.
Well, so do we, and yet we were here on time. But other than berating Paul, we don't actually have much to catch you up on, and there's not much of a recap from last session either, as most of the boys spent their time, or the majority of the session last session, picking up a few things for the road, getting some new equipment. Wolfric got a shiny new guard for his axe that lets him deal some fire damage, as well as getting some new armour, so he's got a little bit of better damage output and a better AC. Eidolon managed to get himself a fancy new sword, as well as a fancy new ring from Varian, which allows him to cast shield a number of times a day. So
Not really
he also
a new ring, or just a better version of the old one.
yeah, it's an enchanted version of a rather sentimental piece in Eidolon's equipment. Ranagash also got a nice shiny ring, not as new or as enchanted. Was one of Varian's old rings that's going to hopefully let him cast some magic a little bit faster. And then Marcusar took a little bit of time to get his boon, as I think he was more looking for information first off, to try and make up for not taking notes the previous session. Let's just call it Paul Day. But he did eventually settle on getting a spell scroll, a rather unique spell scroll from, ironically, a member of the Golden Sun, a section of his faith that he doesn't really get along with very well. But he had a bit of a heart-to-heart with him, which was kind of nice.
Marcusar has levels.
He's an onion.
Yeah.
Layers.
One of those layers is Ruthless Murderer.
It is, yes.
Yes.
The second half of last session, though, was, I guess, a little bit more frantic. The party left the Citadel, obviously escorting Lucius to this Precursor site, and they passed through Hillview, just on their way there, to a rather disturbing sight which got them all relatively riled up, a pyre burning outside of the watchtower, where they discovered that shortly after they left, the young woman they had rescued died of her illness, died of her injuries, and during the time of mourning came back from the dead to attack the rest of the townsfolk. It wasn't, I guess, new information to the party, but it was definitely not pleasant information, as they went to a lot of effort to try and rescue the young woman, and, well, for our sister, it was quite the hardship. Though that'll be a distant memory for the town, as something a lot more horrifying occurred thanks to Eidolon than some rogue spellcaster.
He doesn't get to speak anymore. He lost his rights to his tongue.
Yeah, let's just say he's had his life.
Yeah. But today we are joining our party back on the road, as they left Hillview, resolving the divided township quite quickly, perhaps not as tactfully, but certainly quickly, and heading back down the road towards Tenon, towards the crossing of the River S, where, if you boys want, you have essentially a night, like a day and a night, to have any interaction you guys want to have on the road, like if you want to have a little bit of RP before you actually get to town, if there's anything you kind of want to do with one another, or you are obviously travelling with Lucius as well. He will join you in the evenings, so you have the option of talking to him as well.
I don't trust him. I do not trust this man.
You're not really trusting many people, are you?
No, I think this man is like, so there's like usual levels of Eidolon trust. I think this man is like, he's like underground somewhere in terms of the level of trust Eidolon has for him.
Then perhaps we can question him.
Yeah, I feel like a night around the campfire to question him. I want to talk to Wolfric about something, but I might leave that till after Tenon.
So,
No, I kind of like Paul's idea of interrogating this man.
yeah. So,
I think I'll leave the tactful interrogation up to
No, I didn't mean
Paul or Ranagash.
I didn't mean interrogation. No,
I said tactful.
are we still on our horses on the way into town then?
no, this will be whilst you're kind of, I guess, setting up camp for the night. You guys will have obviously tacked your horses. You'll have camped a little bit further away from the main road in order to give you the trees, the bushes to tie up the horses. Lucius himself will spend most of the night in his carriage. He has a little bit more luxury that way. But when you do set up the campfire and I guess gather to have a meal, he does come out and sit with you. Though he very rarely, at least from Hillview or the Citadel to Hillview, very rarely had conversation with you unless you engaged him. So tonight is no different as the four of you sit around the campfire, likely roasting game that Ranagash has caught. And then for Marcusar it'll likely be berries and tea.
As always.
You have the time to, I guess, talk to him, or engage with him, or even engage with one another as well.
Can I lean into Wolfric and like, which one of us should ask him?
Oh, I don't know. What are you wanting to ask him?
Just what is his mission with us?
Lucius.
Yes.
What exactly is it that you're looking for in this ruin? Is it?
Well, actually, I don't even know if it is a ruin I'm looking for. I have a location somewhere not far from Summerhost, but other than that, I don't actually know what I'm looking for. I have a few clues. I have, I guess, words that are meant to lead me in the right direction, but other than that, I don't really know what I'm expecting.
What clues do you have? What words are associated with this thing?
The Precursors are interesting beings. They are said to be the first gods of Elorant, the first gods of this world, before any kind of faith existed. They work in tandem with one another. I hope to find some answers for this. The only thing I was able to find in terms of a clue to get to the location is that when the light and the dark meet in harmony, you will know the way. I assume it has something to do with nighttime. I have a rough estimate in terms of the possible locations in Summerhost where this could occur, but I don't really know what I'm actually looking for.
I mean, I guess none of us know what we're looking for.
It would usually be quite easy. I imagine it would be an entrance or some kind back in the day, but nowadays the grass is grown over many of the ruins, so I don't quite know what we're looking for anymore.
Hopefully we can be of some assistance then. Then I'll lean into Wolfric and be like, he has no fucking idea. Neither do we.
Well, this is great. Our guide that's meant to know what's going on with us. Well, I suppose we're just his bodyguards, so like, can't find it, problem solved, just send him back.
Where do we even start? Like, other than Summerhost?
Other than near Summerhost, like that's all you've got, right? That's all you've got.
I have I guess a rough, maybe 10-mile radius.
I mean, 10 miles is a lot of ground.
That's a lot of land to cover.
We have the time.
Do you have a Do you have a contact in Summerhost?
I mean, the Lord himself, yes, I have a writ of passage.
At Lucius's mention of the Lord, Marcus are very visibly scowls.
Not someone you're a fan of?
Not particularly. We have a history.
History? Excuse me for prying.
It's not really of your concern, just we should be wary of him.
I'm aware that whatever happened likely isn't my concern, but if it's someone that we're not supposed to exactly be, I guess in your own terms, fond of, I'd like to know why.
I ignore the question very visibly and ask Lucius, like, what information can the Lord provide?
It's not so much information, it's more men. I imagine if we find the site, it will take me some time to excavate it. It will take me some time to research it. I need bodies to assist. The writ more acquisition some of his scholars to aid me.
The Lord doesn't have any immediate idea where this thing is, right?
He doesn't even know it exists.
Marcus has a little sigh, kind of like sits back and on the log or whatever we're sitting on around the fire, just eases up a bit.
This is a very sensitive matter. It's something that not a lot of people know about, and it's not something a lot of people get to know about.
I'd slowly turn my eyes from Marcus R over to Lucius.
It
That's
is more a writ that will help me get some assistance in cataloguing items. I can't imagine that would be very exciting for the four of you.
Does anyone in the party like paperwork?
Ranagash?
I can't read common.
I carry.
Mage, just learn how to read, lol. Just read the words, 5 head.
Just cast Copperhead languages, 5 head.
I've got tongues on your spell list, little bitch boy.
Do you?
I'll have a spell list, I just punch things.
I think Marksar, after this little conversation, he's probably finished his food, and he'd probably like make his bed really relatively close to the fire, but not too close to Lucius. Well, Lucius would be staying in his carriage, won't he? So,
Yeah.
Pompous.
keeping a distance, but within view, you know.
As Lucius will retire for the evening as well.
I'll perform my usual.
Oh, does Lucius? Oh yeah, Lucius knows about this, does he?
Yeah, he will have likely questioned or attempted to question it the first night, but kind of just given up.
Yeah.
I'll hand the key to Ranagash again because easy put, he did it fine the first time.
Sure.
As
So
do you
we
all,
all go to sleep.
yeah, do you all settle for the evening? Go to bed.
Yes.
Yeah.
As coming into the morning, Matthew, can you roll me your dice?
Yes.
Can you remember which ones it is?
It's 2d4 and a d. Oh, it's those dice. 2d4 and a d6.
Yes.
It's
2,
the
2,
spooky
4.
dice.
The menacing dice. Hey.
Hey, oh, max rolls. If only that was damage.
4. That's interesting. I don't think we've had this one before. It is another
roll.
d6.
Ah,
One off.
It was never gonna last.
we're on the
Hey.
verge of greatness.
Hey-ho.
We're this close.
Interesting.
Oh no. Oh no.
As you get, I guess, more of a bird's eye view in your dreams tonight, as you begin to fly across a land where I guess you've never really seen it before. It's very unfamiliar to you. You feel a little lightheaded in your vision. You just kind of feel almost like you're drifting. as you seem to be flying over what appears to be a field of flowers. It looks very beautiful. It's nowhere like you've seen in Elorant, rolling hills just covered in a multitude of colour. Where silhouetted on a hill, just underneath one of a number of trees, currently in bloom, you can see two figures, quite clearly a man and a woman. Not figures you've ever seen before. The man is quite tall and quite slender. He does have some strength to him, but not in terms of visible muscle. He's standing perhaps nearly 8 foot tall, but at least from your bird's eye view looks very humanoid, not orcish or even a half-orc. He is very pale in his complexion. The female, however, is a little bit shorter, probably only 6 foot, though I guess still quite tall for a woman. She is a bit stockier in her build, she's a lot curvier, with her hair kind of flowing and matching in terms of similar length and curl. This very auburn, almost reddish style hair that seems to sometimes shimmer purple or shimmer red or shimmer gold in the light. They seem to be quite happy together. They are embracing each other upon the hill. It seems like they are talking, but you can't really hear what they're saying. As you're more flying over, watching their pleasantries, watching their moment of calm, where, give me a little perception check, as I know Ranagash isn't the most passive, so we'll see if your active's any better.
I double checked my mod. I should know my mod.
It's -1.
It is. That's not a d20.
See, this is why I asked, because you're passive you would notice nothing, but with that, you do notice something. As you're flying over, a very clear blue sky almost has kind of a rosy tint to it, most likely the morning light, though very strangely in this day and the rising of this sun, you see the sun on the horizon, not unusual. However, plastered against the blue sky, you see the moon, not unusual, until it kind of shifts ever so slowly, and you see a second one in the sky. Where you hear a voice being called, almost someone calling a name. You're not too sure what they call, as it's a little bit too muffled, a little bit too, I guess, distant, as it kind of rolls over the hills. Though you only assume that it's calling towards the woman, as quite quickly she leaves the side of the man and begins running, almost tumbling back down the flower-laden hills. Where you yourself almost fly into the sunrise and wake up for the morning to the boys tending to their horses and to Lucius tending to his own carriage.
You alright there, Ran?
As Ranagash is waking up late.
That's my thing.
We're really milking the late joke today, huh? Really just going for it, like...
We've got nothing else for him today. Late.
Did you sleep well, Ran?
Well, I slept, so... Sure.
Fair enough. We're about to hit the road. So pack up your stuff.
Alright.
I'm still keeping a suspicious glance towards Lucius, however I also now have a partial suspicious glance towards Marksar.
Well, it's not like he didn't have that to begin with, so...
Yeah, but now he has a reason for it.
Now he has a reason for the suspicion. As you begin your journeys, or your journey, back down the last leg of the road, and to a familiar sight, to the Roseheld farm sitting atop the hill, and the big palisade, the big stone palisades of Tenon. The gates are, as always, open, and the town itself is in full swing, bustling with the noise of both travellers and locals as your company comes into town. Is there anything you guys want to do in Tenon, or do you just kind of want to pass through?
Blacksmith.
You love seeing blacksmiths.
I'm going
Were you going to say
to...
something, Paul?
No, I think Marksar, we just like stop by the church and pray. That's about all we do. And then I remembered what Ewan is going to see a blacksmith for.
I'm going to go to Stormy. First of all, I'm going to ask Marcus, what's the weather like in Summerhost?
It's usually always warm, but, you know, grass is green, quite temperate, you know, nothing really to
I was just wondering,
complain
maybe, just in case it needed to get any extra layers. Right.
Aren't you
Just
from
not
north?
please.
Shouldn't you like? Is it cold up north here?
Yeah, it's up north. It's how the north work.
Could you like?
But the
You know.
but
Infer.
but the heat from the sun does not always necessitate hot breeze. It could be a cold
True.
breeze, which is very contrasting with the heat of the sun.
Fair enough. The place was called Summer as well.
Yeah. I mean,
know, they could have named
Greenland's
it
called
ironically.
Greenland and is covered in ice.
Yeah.
And then there's Iceland, the son of a bitch.
They just wanted to confuse all the travelers. Right, so
If he's heading off to the blacksmith and Paul's heading off to the Hall of Faith, I would more stay, I guess, with Lucius would be the best way to put it.
yeah.
Though, not for any want of staying near Lucius, more just no need for seeing anything else in Tenon.
So it would likely be a case that the carriage and cart and obviously the horses would most likely be left by the inn. It would make the most sense. You've got a good place to hitch up there. Similarly, if you wanted to go inside to wait rather than waiting out on the streets, you have that option as well. As Paul, you head into the church just to pray.
Are them the Golden Suns there? Probably not.
Not here, no. However, you do see, I guess, a small company that is a bit more unusual to you. You don't see them very often. You actually only see them usually once a year. As in their more traveller attire, their more reddish stained garbs, you see some members of the Red Leaf.
Oh.
Though, I guess in relief to see other druids, it slowly turns into perhaps a little bit of disdain, as they appear to be offering their prayers to some of the gods of the new faith. They are offering some tribute to the shrines.
I think Marksar wouldn't really react to that. He'd be pissed off, but he wouldn't like. He's not going to go up to them and question them. I think he's learnt his lesson last time he was in this church.
Heretics!
Really?
Well, no, you know, like he knows this place is kind of like, all right, there's no winning these guys over.
Yeah.
So he just like he'd have a little prayer to himself before meeting everyone else. Nothing really much he would do, just that.
And then, Wolfric, you're heading down to Simtori's, to one of the blacksmiths, where you can see that not Simtori's shop, but Brock's shop has a boarded up window. You can see the remains of some glass on the floor, but other than that, the shop seemed to be pretty alright. No shouting as you head through the door this time. It seems that the brothers have at least quelled themselves for today, as Simtori seems to be working on what looks like slates or scales for a pauldron.
Right.
I was wondering when you'd be back.
I'm here to see if you could possibly be, and I take out the axe, coating this in dwarven steel. I was told I spoke with a mortal in the citadel.
Been years since I've seen that old fud. I didn't saying that, he's a tiefling, he's not actually that old, but he looks old. He also looks creepy.
He,
Eh.
Basically, I was given the favour of the dynast, which I could use to exchange to have work done. However, he could not fulfil the work that I requested, so he possibly spoke of me. He asked if you around if I knew anyone who I thought could be capable of it, and I thought of you. So I was wondering if I would be able to have you, if that favour carried any weight here.
Sadly not, if I'm being honest. Our weight carries favour in the Citadel, but not so much down here. If you're wanting work done, it's the old-fashioned coin, I'm afraid.
How much would dwarven steel coating cost me?
Well, I do like you, and you did say you'd come back, so I suppose I can knock a little bit off, but it'd still probably round it up to about 80.
80 gold.
Aye.
I will be right back. I will. Into the inn. Eidolon,
Yeah.
how much money did you bet on me?
Is he more just like Look down at the table for a few seconds. 4 gold pieces, I think.
How much did you get?
24.
Okay.
Though most of it's already spent.
Fair.
Why do you ask?
No, it's just because to get what I'm looking for, I've got 66 gold on me. I've got 67 gold on me, and I need 80 for the thing that I'm wanting done.
I guess if Ranagarsh is still sitting here, I'd just turn to Ran and just ask, you wouldn't happen to have any?
Unfortunately, I'd be hitting up the old chemist. So, you'll have to wait.
Been doing a few
He's-
deals.
Yeah, he's got his regular hookup he needs to keep on top of.
Shit.
I mean, I'm sure if you swung by somewhere, you'd be able to do an odd job for a little bit, but
I head back, and would I be able to offer you 66 gold and an item or two for trade?
I don't really do trades. Give me a persuasion, Ewan.
he has a chance.
Is that +3?
Come on. Oh.
Fuck, motherfucker, no.
Oh,
You hate to see it.
No, I've already cut it by 20. I can't cut it anymore.
Right.
it was 100. You could always just come back for it, Ewan.
I'll come back later.
You're saying that a lot, but at least I know you do actually come back, so I can hope.
I expected to have made more money. Just I've been short-handed, so
I've been short-handed.
You've been short-handed by the nobility.
the bourgeoisie.
That's over.
Either rich or right.
It's time to instate communism.
As
Oh no.
returning to the inn for the second time, Marcusar, you kind of meet Wolfric on the road as you're coming over the bridge from the church and into the inn, where the four of you and Lucius are reunited within the walls of the inn.
No luck.
No luck.
How much actually is it?
80 gold pieces. Though that's him cutting it down.
That's cut down. Oh my.
You might be able to get it cheaper in Summerhost.
How much are you short by?
I'm short. Technically, I'm short 14.
Did the drugs cost me anything?
They costed you 5.
5.
Drugs cost me.
Oh no, that's unfortunate. 'Cause that means I'm down to 12.
In fact, I've got 10 silver, so that's 67, so I'm technically...
1 gold.
I wish I could assist you, but I have no.
Wait, you're only 1 gold down, Ewan?
Technically, if Marcusar lends me the 12 gold, then I'm 1 gold short.
Would you?
I would like to
Matthew?
help you. I would like to help you, Wolfric, but I don't have any need for money.
Absolutely understand. You don't have to help me. It's fine. I can just come back later.
I do have some gold, but it's not very much. But if you were just missing 1, I could definitely easily give you 1.
Go do some dishes behind the bar.
Right. No, we'll get paid for this, I presume. So I can just come back later.
Hey, not bad reward, a 2d12x.
Yeah.
Is there anything you guys do in Tenon?
What actually did we do last time we were here?
Should we check it? Sorry.
No, go Matthew. Go Paul.
Should we go stop by the manor and see how the whole politics of the situation are going?
I mean,
Like,
I think it was mainly
People are
Wolfric who.
there.
I think it was Wolfric who mainly knew the mayor's son, so
Yeah. Should we
could
go
send
speak
him
to
over
him?
to do that. Yeah.
Let's
See how
head
things
back
are.
and see. I'll go back and see.
Is it like Caradoc?
Caradoc, that's it. I don't know why my mind went Legoshi, but that's not his name. That's the guy.
I don't think
I
you've
would-
met anyone beginning with L.
I was like, my brain went think of a name, Legoshi, and I went, shit, that's the guy from Beastars.
Eidolon would turn to Wolfric in that case and just say, well, I've been cooped up in here all day. Mind if I come?
No worries.
That's
Does
us all.
more just get up? Are we just leaving Lucius here on his own?
I was gonna say, do we want to leave him unattended?
He's a big boy, he can be left on his own.
Yeah, I don't believe that for a second.
Yeah, as they're walking out, as him and Eidolon are walking out, he glances back, leans into Eidolon and goes, doesn't look like he'll need his nappies changed for a while.
At least not today, no. We'll see when we stop tonight.
Yeah.
Are we all heading, or is it just me and Wolfric?
We found
I'm
it,
coming
the
along.
NPC we can bully.
Finally.
What's up, nerd, you fucking dork?
Oh no.
Sipping for the dynast.
Fuck this guy. I don't trust him. There's nothing trustworthy about this guy.
I'll come up to the manor with Wolfric and Eidolon. Rad, are you coming?
Just, I would probably. Does Lucius need supervise? I would probably ask him if he wants.
Oh, does baby need supervision?
It's called being polite, Craig.
He'll draw on the walls if we leave him alone for too long.
I mean, not really. He is quite content with his books. So.
Oh,
What does
he's
he
learning
look
how
like
to read.
again?
Lad strip.
What does he look like again? I remember he's scrawny and old.
Yeah, so he is essentially a skeleton with skin at this point.
Did you ever? I'm not sure. I never noted it down. Did you mention a race? Is he elven? Is he
He's human.
The
I
only
imagine
thing I
so.
think we know about him is that he was the old master of magic.
Yeah. So the information you guys got about him is that he was the master of magic before Varian.
Varian.
Other than that, he's been researching this precursor technology, and then obviously in terms of his appearance, he is a very old man. He's very frail, or at least in his appearance, he looks very frail. He is very wrinkled, skin almost like parchment, and there's very little muscle and very little fat left on it. Like, he is a very skeletal man with very grey hair. But
He'll be fine then. He's a wizened beyond his years.
as the four of you head up,
Hopefully he doesn't collapse by the time we get back.
that's true, he could just die on this journey just being old.
Well, that's our whole quest over.
Right, we'll get back to Skeletor. We're gonna go talk to Caradoc.
As you head up
Cast
to Bellamy,
Death Ward on yourself
Bellamy
forever.
Manor.
What? He's a scrawny skeleton-looking wizard. He's Skeletor.
Yeah.
Great teamwork, guys.
Bellamy Manor, when the four of you arrive, seems to be a little bit busier than you last remember it. There seems to be quite a few locals as well as travellers, more just, I guess, pottering around the manor, as well as the fields, or not the fields, the kind of courtyard. You can even see that there are quite a lot more servants attending things. You can see that there's actually a stable hand who's attending to some of the horses with a farrier. So even they are getting, I guess, a bit more attention. When the first time the four of you walked up to this house, the only thing that was here in terms of life were the two guards outside. The guards aren't there anymore. You can kind of see them patrolling. Some of them have even just kind of idle gossip and idle chatter with some of the townsfolk that are standing outside. The door itself seems to be wide open, just kind of almost waiting for you.
I'm
the
more
way
waiting for Wolfric.
I'll head up to the front door, and it's completely open.
Yeah, it's just kind of open. People are coming and going as they want, as they please.
Step inside.
You don't sight Caradoc very quickly. However, there is someone instead who you do sight. You kind of more, I guess, looking a little bit fancier in her garb, also looking a lot healthier. She doesn't look as thin. Still quite pale and still quite thin, but not as thin, as Elsha. As she more sights the four of you. And more smiles. You can even see as she smiles, her cheeks kind of flush. The last time she smiled, it was kind of more gaunt. There was no colour there. But she seems to be more on the mend as she sees the four of you come into the manor house. And she kind of stops what she's doing, leaves a small collection of people to the side, and comes to see the four of you.
Alright, Minion.
It's nice to see you. How are you all doing?
Not too bad, not worse for wear. We're just passing through. Thought we'd come say hi.
I appreciate it. Caradoc would be happy to know that you're here too. I think he's upstairs with his mother right now, so I wouldn't I wouldn't advise until at least she leaves.
Yeah,
When might that
be? She's not the fondest of this.
She's not the fondest of anything right now, but... Oh, they won't be long. She mostly just goes in there to shout at him for a little while and then leaves.
That's not very kind of her.
I don't really think she likes the change.
No, she didn't seem the type to.
I'm quite welcoming of it, actually. It's quite nice to have people around.
Is there somewhere that we might wait for him?
Anywhere you can find space.
Is there, like, a sofa or a reception that we can wait in?
There is a drawing room where you can kind of go and have a wee seat.
Sounds cool.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah. No, good.
Though, as you are all moving through, I guess, she more takes you by the hand, Marcusar, or attempts to by the wrist. It doesn't really work because Dragonborn small hands. So it's more eventually by the hand as she more kind of pulls you back from the rest of the party, takes you to the side of the door, just more out of earshot if she was to speak a bit more quietly, and just, I guess, looks at her feet. You can see her almost twiddle her fingers. I just wanted to say I'm sorry for when we first met.
There's no need to apologize, child.
I know it can be startling sometimes. I just wanted to say sorry.
I am not easily startled, young one. But thank you so much for this apology. I hope you are doing well.
I'm doing much better. I still have visions occasionally, but they're much less frequent, much less
It's
violent.
good to hear. What was the last vision you saw that made you happy?
I not really had very many of those. I guess they're just a little bit more concerning.
You know, something that always helped me when I was going through trouble, as when I was young, was the old faith. I don't know if you're a religious girl, but she helped me through a lot.
I've never really found a lot of comfort in religion, though. We only really have the new gods here, and I've never really been able to speak to many of the druids.
I would love to stay and tell you much about them, but we have our own quest.
Then perhaps you can write to me.
I absolutely will. Is it just one Bellamy Manor? Yeah. Tenon.
Not much else on the street, is there?
Is that a first class stamp or two? You know?
Technically, it would be a first-class raven to Elsha, Delvin and Tenon.
I'll absolutely write to you.
I'll go and see if Caradoc's free.
I join the others.
Ishimura gives you a small bow, gives you a nod, lets you join with the boys, and disappears up the stairs.
Sweet young girl.
Marcusar now has a pen pal.
That's cute.
Yeah. Would they deliver by mail though? That's a curious question.
Yeah, that's because your port of call would be a rookery in Summerhost, so it's like, would they actually send your letter?
We'll see. I'll have to do it anonymous, maybe.
Get one
of us to go in.
Just give it to Eidolon and be like, post this for me. As you're not waiting very long, as Elsha comes back down the stairs with Caradoc, or on the arm of Caradoc, as the two of them kind of come in, and he beams at the sight of the four of you. Elsha told me you were passing through. I was a little dumbfounded to believe it.
How you doing? And reach out, give him like a forearm grab handshake.
He will reciprocate.
Like in Predators, like, that you son of a bitch.
I have been doing a lot better, in some degree. It's hard trying to manage everyone, but I'm managing. What about the four of you?
Well, I won a tournament we're currently escorting someone important from the Citadel.
We're making work.
Certainly, it sounds like it. Where is your destination? Where are you heading? Escorting someone.
Summerhost.
Oh, I've had a little correspondence with the Lord from there, at least trying to organise some stuff. He's, I guess, been a bit more difficult than the Lord of Westcross, but it's been pleasant enough, at least in his correspondence.
Mark Starr isn't happy about that.
Would you like us to bring you back a souvenir?
From Summerhost?
Yeah.
If you find something interesting. Perhaps. Though in saying that, I will have to make my own journey there at some point. I'm still waiting from correspondence from the Citadel in terms of, I guess, ownership of Tenon. I need to see if it's still staying with my family or not.
Absolutely.
For now, I am along with our general, along with Frederick. We are making sure Tenon stays moving, but
Well, you're doing a fine job.
I just wish some would think so.
People not too happy.
Person, mostly, but nothing I can't
Person.
handle.
Anyone of note?
My stepmother. But I would say woman, but she is the only one. So it's not even just women, it's just her. But she's always made things difficult. She's been pleasant enough, don't get me wrong, and I love her dearly, but she was very set on the life my father had made for us. And there is so much uncertainty right now that might change.
It's not exactly like that life was entirely moral.
It's also a very isolationist lifestyle. I prefer meeting the people. I prefer being able to go out and see people and talk to people, and even working with Frederick and his men and Grey. It's better than sitting behind a desk and writing letters and papers and just putting my seal upon pointless documents.
Well, I have to say that at least so far it's been nicer than our first visit. We haven't exactly been apprehended by guards when crossing the bridge yet.
I could arrange for it to occur if you wish.
Nostalgia trip's never the worst thing.
Is there anything you need of us while we're in Tenon before we make our journey?
I suppose not. As it should be, don't get me wrong, I don't really have much of a need for freelancers anymore. My guard is actually operating as my guard, believe it or not.
Most
It's good to hear.
Very good. Well, lads, you gonna claps his knees. He's like, are we ready?
Well.
Ready to rock and roll?
I think it's about time we were heading. We've left the old man unattended for a bit too long.
Yep.
I won't ask. But
Thank you for seeing us, Caradoc.
it was nice seeing you four as well. You did this town and myself a great favour, though I guess at the same time it was a hardship. I will not say I miss the man, though.
I don't think you
cruel that
exactly
may
have any
sound.
reason to.
It's a great difficulty with a lot of nuanced feelings. I'm just hoping, here's to my belief, that you will lead Tenon to a new, bright and prosperous age.
I do hope our paths cross again.
They surely will. Fate wills it, it shall be so.
Perhaps these visits could become more weekly. It's nice to see some friendly faces.
Or as frequent as it can, because I think, I'm not sure about the rest of them, but my plan is heading, once we've escorted this guy and then taken him back, I'll probably heading up north.
Well, that is certainly somewhere you can get me a souvenir from. Because my journey won't take me up there. I will likely only be able to travel to Westcross, but from our last talk you're from Gildenfeld, so it would be nice to see what life is like up there, even in a small trinket. As Emor walks the four of you to the door, still Elsha with him, as rather than leaving you at the door, he more walks you out into the courtyard, where he branches off into a small section of the gardens, bidding the four of you farewell, as he and Elsha appear to go for more of a walk together, as the four of you head back to the inn.
Oh, lovely.
How quaint.
Where Lucius has kind of commandeered much of the table, Even in the short, maybe half an hour you've left him there, he has turned this small section of the tavern into very much a workspace, where you can see several of his books, his parchments, even some ink that he spilled from his quill, where he seems to be scrawling and scribbling some more of his research.
Have you eaten today?
From breakfast this morning, I don't recall.
What time is it now?
It's probably just after or just before afternoon.
That's alright now.
That's alright.
Just remember to eat something substantial. We're gonna get on the road soon.
You'll learn that he's a very skinny, frail man who just like, you better eat up.
I won't be long packing up. Most of this is scrap anyway. Just trying to decipher some stuff. As he begins kind of packing away several of his things, packing away several of his tomes, sifting several pages of parchment between other several pages of books. Most of it is in a language that the four of you can't read, though Eidolon and Marcusar, you two are able to pick up parts of it. You're not too sure.
Elvish?
You're not too sure on what it says. Eidolon, for you, parts of it seem to be akin to at least almost morphing and changing from what you can only assume to be deep speech. It's kind of very Percy Jackson style in the way that he can read Latin, in terms of the way that the letters are reforming on the page for you.
Yeah.
Marcusar, however, is not as, I guess, demonic as deep speech, or as guttural as deep speech. Your understanding of a few of the words and a few of the phrases or symbols instead come from Druidic.
Oh.
That's an unsettling combination of languages.
Deep speech and truth.
Here's hoping that doesn't mean anything, and that's purely a coincidence.
Oh, you know it's not a coincidence,
When
Ewan.
when is anything ever coincidental with me, Ewan?
I was being facetious.
Jesus!
I love fettuccine as well.
I actually prefer porcini, but you know. As
Are we ready to get going?
Please. Please.
On the road.
Please.
on the road again. As the four of you wait for Lucius to pack up his things, sort the carriage, sort the horses, bid your farewells to Tenon, and make your way along the main road, to a road that most of you have travelled, though when it comes to the small fork that would take you through the northern plains, you make a left turn and start travelling south.
That's new to all of us except Marcusar.
A road which only Marcusar has travelled. As it is not long
We're
before...
on my wife now.
It is not long before you see what you can only assume to be the treetops of Halden on the horizon, as the forest itself is one of the largest forests in Ellerant, so it branches quite far in terms of this small portion of the world.
Two roads diverge in a forest, and we take the one less travelled.
That's really good, you. Did you come up with that?
Yes.
Well done.
Slow contemplation.
Yes.
Why
But-
wouldn't I lie?
Instead of following the main road, as you normally would, perhaps for yourself, Marcusar, you're a little bit easier to judge the distance in terms of travel to Summerhost. You're probably only maybe a day, half a day away, where Lucius instead comes from his carriage and gets you to veer off. Veer off of the main road and head into the eastern plains, heading towards what you can only assume to be the River S, back over the hills and delves and presumably looking for something.
Close to where you're supposed to be, Lucius?
Within a 10-mile radius, I did say.
Ah, that makes sense.
Ranagash,
Minute.
your visions are good at giving information. So if you just like put your face to the ground and just like kind of rubbed it, could you like get a vision of the earth? Look, I don't know how magic works, right? I just swing an axe.
Swinging very well. But no, unfortunately, no. If it was as easy as that, maybe I wouldn't need these.
You think really hard. If we stood in a circle and chanted vision,
If we did that, would we have to like go in a circle around him, or would he be part of the circle?
No, he would be in the middle.
Ah, that makes sense.
Let's not try any bizarre rituals to. You know, what's wrong with the old-fashioned way?
Right, let's just search. If we find a dead body, maybe you can touch the dead body. As long as you're okay with touching the dead body.
I'm gonna slowly start pulling Wolfric off in another direction away from Ranagash.
Come on, I was making some valid arguments.
To be fair to the man, I did touch one of those weird wolf things, so.
Ranagash, don't try and justify it.
I'm just saying, man. Come on.
Right. I'm like, listen, he gets where I'm coming from. He's clearly dealt with magic illiterate people before.
Magically illiterate. Yeah, that is what we are in this situation.
What you guys are in this situation. As I guess you guys kind of begin your search for this entrance. How are you guys doing it? Are you like, I guess, traveling as one big group, or are you kind of almost splitting off?
I think we should all assist the person who's really good at looking for things.
Who's that directed towards?
Who's really good at noticing things? That's not directed at anyone in particular. That's just who is really good at noticing things.
I wonder what would that be called in a sense?
If I was to rate my level
really
of
good at perceiving things and also happens to be from the area.
Who has the high on a let's say an arbitrary scale like 0 to 20? Who has the best skill of noticing things?
I honestly feel like the person who should be searching for things is the person who this is their in their quotes home turf.
Home turf.
Have you actually ever been to this specific area though before, Paul?
Have I?
This is a little bit further than your specific area, as this is a little bit more, I guess, the natural part of Summerhost, the untouched areas, and you tend to reserve yourself for Summerhost and for the Forest of Hilden.
Yeah. I mean, I'll try my best, Wolfric, and can I perceive anything in the earth or in the trees or whatever of this plane?
Give me a roll.
What roll would you like?
It's perception.
Perception, sure. 11.
Not really.
Swell. I tried my hardest, Wolfric.
May I perchance give it a shot?
Give me a shot, yeah.
Oh, it's +7, isn't it?
What? You have a +7? Why was I doing it?
For the lols.
I could still fail this. That's a 27 with a nat 20.
This is going to be a great reaction image for when I do the footage, just Paul's face right now. I'm not too sure whether he's frozen or not, but there's a part of me that hopes he's just not.
Hello?
Hey,
Hello, you're back.
Apologies.
No, it was...
Oh, nat 20, nice.
It was a perfect time for you to freeze, Paul. It was a fucking perfect time for you to freeze.
Oh, what was I doing?
You were just staring off into the middle distance as Eidolon says that he has a +7 to perception and then got a 27 with a nat 20 on his roll. You're just staring off into the middle distance.
Just a bitch, like what?
But yeah. Eidolon.
Hello, yes.
With your nat 20, you are...
Eyes.
I guess you don't really know what you're looking at or what you're looking for. It's more an irregularity that you find as you're kind of more travelling the hillside. It's now getting late into the evening where you notice, at least on one of the small hills, almost, I guess would be traditional and I guess like most Nordic burial chambers, like you know how you have the mound and then it's just covered in flowers.
Yeah.
Kind of like that, but without the burial part. It's just a raised hill, or like a raised part of the ground that is covered in buds. So not blooming flowers, like not like open flowers. It's like a closed flower, like a budding flower, one that's not bloomed yet.
Yeah, I get that.
It seems incredibly strange as these small buds cover this whole kind of delve, this whole hill, and nowhere else. Everywhere else is long grass or short grass or weeds or wildflowers, but this entire area is, despite being left to become overgrown, has all of these very tall, closed flowers growing atop it.
I guess in that place, after finding that, is the rest of the group nearby?
They would be, yeah, not too far.
Is Lucius nearby?
Yeah, he will be accompanying his carriage.
I would direct my voice to the old man in that case and just shout, "Oi!"
Did you find something?
I'd more walk over to this rather odd-looking delve and more just stand next to it, like looking over it as I speak. Does this look at all strange, unusual to you?
A little. It's a strange formation of flowers.
Well, you said you didn't know what you were looking for, so...
He kind of more leads his horse, the horse and carriage over. He doesn't get into it. He more lets them drag over and sets them not too far from the hill, comes up to join you. Perhaps. These are moonflowers. They bloom under the light of the moon, so perhaps.
I'm going to explain your little riddle, I suppose.
Yes. Light and dark in harmony. They are encompassed within these flowers. A flower that blooms in the light of the dark.
So will we just wait for night in that case?
No, we wait for the moon, not night. They won't bloom in the dark, they need to bloom with the light of the moon.
So, are we gonna set up camp then?
We will need to, yes, until we can get either a clear sky or a full moon.
So we could be here for days if we're unlucky.
I think I have star charts. I will let you set up camp. I will see what I can find, see when the closest moon is. As he more leaves the four of you and heads back to his carriage.
Well, that's just great.
Very nice of him to help us.
Yeah, incredibly so.
Right, let's get collecting the stuff for it.
Wolfric, would you mind accompanying me, just to grab some things?
Alright.
As I would more take Wolfric aside to an extent. More out of earshot of the rest of the group, I guess is the best way to put it. Wolfric, I hope you don't mind if I ask you something.
No worries, yeah.
It's been bothering me since you said something about it in the Citadel, so I more just want to get it off my chest.
Yes.
God, I don't really know how to start this, so... I more just want to say that in the Citadel, when you asked about it, as he'd more just bring up his ring finger, I didn't mind, I just didn't really know what to say. I guess more for clarity is... Well, she's dead. But I feel that was assumable.
I imagine so. You don't seem like the type of man to get divorced.
Well, I don't know if I should take that as a compliment or an insult, but either way. It's been a month, no. It's been a year since it happened. So it's
a raw wound.
I more wanted to ask, and you don't need to feel inclined to answer, but if that happened to you, how would you deal with that?
Grief is natural for what has happened. You've lost a person that you've been deeply vulnerable with. You've allowed yourself to open up to them. Now they're gone. And that's a very hard thing to deal with. However, you can't let the grief consume you. Because the number one thing that they would want, and you would want for them, were they in your position, was for you to be able to eventually move on. I'm not saying right away, I'm not saying tomorrow, I'm not even saying next week or next year, but once you feel like you have healed from the loss you have experienced, then you can begin to move on.
Very wise words, old man.
These years have given me something.
I've noticed.
Claps him around the shoulders. He's like, right, let's find some firewood.
One last thing.
Yes.
When we were talking to Sorrow, you mentioned a monster that was following your dragon.
Yeah.
Some type of lycanthrope you mentioned.
Yes.
That creature is the one that killed my wife.
So we both have.
It's no ally.
We both have a very personal interest, because where we find this beast, we'll find the thing that killed your wife.
All I want to ask is, and again, you're under no obligation to say yes but if we come across
I will
this,
kill it with you.
that was. As Eidolon Mord gives like a chuckle of relief. That was easy.
Well, I'd say you're lucky in this regard, because points at Eidolon, points up wherever that fucking thing is. That's your closure. As soon as that thing's in the ground.
If only things like that were that simple all the time, though.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Beasts are easy. People are complicated.
Yeah, I know.
Right, let's find some firewood.
About time.
As you set up camp for the evening, Eidolon.
You got to give off big dad energy, Ewan.
Hell yeah.
It's like the dad friends, but like
You
the
did.
little dad friend and the big dad friend.
Big cook, little cook.
Big cook, little cook.
My brain immediately went to Big Fish, Little Fish cardboard box.
No, bad. Yeah, we'll bring back firewood.
As you're able to set up a fire, you're able to set up camp, you're able to set up your sleeping bags. Eidolon is able to set up his pitten. And you kind of wait that night.
In this time while we're waiting, can I cast Detect Magic in this area?
Ooh, very good idea.
So when you detect magic, you are able to detect some magic, specifically connected to, obviously now, Wulfric, Eidolon, yourself, Ranagash, Lucius, like, obvious magic. However, you're also able to detect, I guess, a very weak magic from underneath the ground. Almost like roots, where you can see them almost interlock and connect, almost like an old-fashioned like pin lock, holding part of the hill together, and then being or the source points being at the roots or the natural roots of the flowers that are covering the hill.
Strange.
I relay this information to everyone. I think this might be the right place.
Yeah, with a description like that, certainly seems like it. I'm assuming you couldn't see much more beneath that, though.
Not that I could see.
That's fine. At least we know we're looking at the right area.
Magic will never make sense to me.
And this is where we all sing a song and be like, but everything's magic. You know?
Friendship is magic!
Oh
I mean,
no.
I've acquired a magical item.
You tried using it yet?
Shall I try right now?
I'd like to take a step back.
I step back as well.
I will reach into my pack, pull out the runic brace, take out my great axe, clamp it on. I've been waiting to do this. I thrust it high up, and in classic, and I shout, "Flame on!"
I don't think.
Technically,
Does that activate
it does, yeah, because, well, for the three of you, you don't understand it, it's in Primordial, but he is essentially saying flame on in Primordial.
By the power of grace, go.
As
have the power!
As you watch as the runes, the kind of almost magma cracks on the guard light up, they spark, you can almost hear it crackling, and the axe just is engulfed in fire.
Wow.
Flame off. And then I take off the brace.
Are you happy with the flame on, flame off words that I chose for you, Ewan?
Yes.
Oh, I thought that was you just doing that. Is that generally what it is?
Yeah, so the primordial I gave him, which you guys would hear as Aktalam, it translates to on fire or flame on. So to turn it
Fair
off,
enough.
you say flame on, and to turn it off, you say flame off.
Fantastic.
Literal translations.
Hey, primordial is a very literalistic language.
And the two of you, what did you get?
I gained some insight from the druids at the Hall of Faith.
As like trade off for your boon?
I did not initially seek anything with my boon, but I got something nonetheless. They were able to gift me a spell scroll.
Oh.
Hopefully it'll be of use.
I won't pretend to know what that means, but congratulations nonetheless.
Say words, do magic.
Ah, that makes sense. And you?
Gift from
Yes.
Barbarian.
I can see that, but what does it do?
Okay, I'm gonna bend the. So you know how it says I can make a cantrip target 2 things?
Mm-hmm.
Can I use that on Mage Hand and have 2?
Yo!
Technically, yes.
Hell yeah. I basically just want to reach into my pocket, take out 2 of my little runestones, and then just throw them up, and then hold it, use the ring, and then catch them both with Mage
Catch them
Hand,
both with Mage Hand.
because I'm going to be extra with this.
You would get a round of applause.
As spooky hands catch runes.
Hell yeah.
We're just a bunch of big kids with new toys.
You literally are just
Yeah.
a bunch of big kids with new toys. That will, of course, though, use one of your charges of your ring, Matthew.
Yep.
Not bad haul
Sure,
for
hope
you,
we don't need it later.
What about you, Snell?
Hey, Ranagash.
Yes.
You know how you launch those? It's gonna sound really meta when I put it like this, but missiles. Like the darts
yeah.
that shoot things.
That one. Yes, I can do that one.
Hit me.
Take out, one of the runes I just caught, and then I'll just go magic missile.
I'll hold up my left hand, speak a phrase in Elvish, and a shield will sort of just come out and block the missiles. I think it was a pretty good idea. I'm pretty sure the shield just gets rid of magic missile.
Yeah, makes you immune to it.
Oh, hell yeah. I guess that's us all showing off our magic items then.
That's pretty
Oh,
cool.
and Wolfric, what do you think of this? As I take the obsidian sword off the back and just pass it to him. I know you don't use swords, but you at least use weaponry.
He weighs it in his hand.
It's pretty heavy. The thing that kind of strikes you as a bit odd with it is it doesn't feel like a metal when you run your hand along it. It is cold like a metal, but it feels more like a polished rock or stone in comparison to like iron or steel.
Is this obsidian?
Aye.
I would know what obsidian is, right?
Obsidian comes from the Gildenfeld. I was literally about to tell you that information. The Gildenfeld Mountains are where they farm obsidian.
I want to be an obsidian shepherd.
I tell you what, he hands the sword back. You've picked a good weapon there, Eidolon, because they mine that stuff where I'm from.
Ah. Maybe I should have left the obsidian to you then, as I'd more just sheath the sword.
Obsidian steel's more my style.
I can picture that, definitely.
It's reliable. It's not super expensive, but it gets the job done.
All I know about this is it hits harder than what I had before, but if I hit too hard, it'll break, so I just gotta be careful.
That's why it's no good for lumbering.
Though I was told that it's especially effective against dragons, but I don't think we'll be coming across any of those anytime soon. Yes?
No, I just get... Marksar spits out his tea a little bit.
I mean, we can certainly run a test trial and see if he was telling truths.
Perhaps not.
As he'd more just give you raised eyebrows for a second and turn back.
As getting into the night, the four of you don't have, I guess, much rest as you are obviously waiting for the light of the moon, or at least the night sky. Luck seems to be in your favour for this evening.
First time this whole campaign.
I know, eh? My dice like you for once. As it is not a full moon, but it is still a waxing moon, enough to give you light in the night sky. Where, slowly one by one, in quite a beautiful scene, the moonflowers start to bloom. These radiant white petals that seem to almost shimmer and shine with a translucent blue glow that, like fireflies, sets sparks of light into the night. They light up the hillside and illuminate the fields much brighter than your dying flames of your campfire, where all of a sudden it seems like the earth begins to shake. You can feel something underground almost, I guess, clicking, though you're not too sure what it is.
It's a bomb!
No, that would be ticking, Paul, not clicking.
Oh, whatever.
It's a pipe bomb.
As Lucius gets up from the fire, he heads to his carriage and pulls out several of his research papers, several of his scrolls, and sets himself upon the hill amongst the moonflowers, where you can hear him speak almost a prayer. Ranagash and Wulfric, you've got no clue what he's saying. Marcusar and Eidolon, you are able again to, similar to his research notes, pick up bits. Eidolon, you hear him reference and make reference to the night and to the shade. Marcusar, you hear him make reference to the light and to the life.
Odd that those are the two picked out.
Those are the ones you are able to pick out in your own selective tongues. Though as he seems to be speaking, as he seems to be chanting these incantations, the ground starts to shake more violently, almost turning into the tremors of an earthquake.
Swell.
Where can you all just roll me a d20? Just a flat d20.
Oh boy.
Alright.
Oh!
That's not good, Matthew.
It's not great either. That's better. Craig got a 15.
Paul twinsies.
So Ewan and Matthew, I need you to roll me a dexterity saving throw. Matthew, you have it with disadvantage.
Okay.
This is
Ewan,
so
you're just
unfortunate.
a flat dex save. Matthew, you're with disadvantage.
18.
Nice. Not so nice. As the ground around your campfire starts to collapse and cave in, rocks seem to start to fall and a entryway seems to almost form in the hillside. Eidolon, Marcusar, you guys are able to get out of the way relatively quickly. The subsidence doesn't seem to affect the two of you where you are sitting. Wulfric and Rand, you are less lucky, as the subsidence seems to slip and the two of you roll into this cavernous maw. Wulfric, you stop pretty quickly. Rand, you kind of roll a little bit further. You take 5 damage.
Oh boy.
As you more kind of roll, tumble, start falling into the darkness and smack yourself against a rock. It's not very pleasant. However, with this cavern now open, with an entrance now revealed to the four of you, as Lucius comes down from the hill, relatively elated and very excited, we will take a short break just to get some more juice.
Juice.
And we will see you all for the boys' exploration in this cave. Or they could just fuck off and not, but I'm hoping they go into the cave because it's kind
We
of
could
cool
just
looking.
we could just push Lucius down and then just leave him.
Yeah, but you're also paid to protect him, so if he dies down there, it's your fault.
Unfortunate.
Oh, fuck.
But fingers crossed they actually enter into the cave, but we'll find out after this break.
After these short messages.
Nice.
As we are back from the break, and I don't actually know what Craig said. Something about dragons by the sound of things.
Just said Dungeons and Dragons, wasn't it?
He's just not going to answer me now because he knows it'll annoy me.
Yeah.
Let's go.
As we are back from break
Go!
with more juice, as well as Matthew rolling some new portents. So he never used the 2
Important.
6s, but we have some. I will shoot you, Ewan. As we have some new portents for today. But we rejoin the party outside of this newly formed cave, this newly formed cavern, in the dead of night, with the moonlight shining down upon them. It is very dark in here. Ranagash, you are the only one who has dark vision, so you are the only one who can see. What do you guys do?
Technically, Wolfert can make light now.
Clamp. Flame on.
It is now very bright.
Hell yeah.
You have essentially an unlimited torch.
Let's fucking go.
Any of the moonflowers, would I be able to use some of them and put them in my headband to guide me? This light.
I will tell you now, Paul, as a druid, so as someone who is in touch with nature, you'll know that when you remove the flowers from the light of the moon, they will no longer be in bloom.
That's fair. Well, so that's fair enough.
They need the light of the
once
moon
they-
in order to bloom.
I thought once they'd bloomed, they'd bloomed. So like, you put them in thing.
They're a really actually very interesting flower in real life. They only actually bloom at
Oh,
night.
it's a real flower.
It is, yeah.
Wow, cool.
They only bloom at night, and then when the sun rises again, they will close. They will become buds again. So they only bloom at night.
Oh, they're quite pretty.
They are. They're really nice flowers. Really, really hard to look after though if you try and domesticate them, which you can imagine, because of how
Because you have to water them at night.
how they grow.
Yeah.
But yeah, what order, just for my own benefits, what order are the four of you going down this cavern in? Also remember, you need to take into account that Lucius is with you as well.
I think Rand's taking the lead since he's already fallen in.
Is that a good idea?
With his
Yeah, I'll
9
put
passive
Squishy Wizard at the
perception.
front.
Yeah, the squishy
I'd
wizard
say-
can't see.
Oh, really? I was going to say him in the middle, you know?
I've
You gotta
got
protect
more.
this guy.
You obviously have
Middle work.
Wolfric's axe, so you can see. It does light up this cavern very, very well. You can even see there's some old sconces on the walls, so if you wanted to try and light your way as you were going as well, you could light those sconces. But it's more just, I kind of need a rough order for you guys. You can walk down here 2 by 2, but I just need a rough estimate of like who's going first, essentially.
I mean, I'll stay at the front with Ran. If Ran is going first with Dark Vision.
No, no.
Then if we can see, I'll take the front.
I'll take after Eidolon.
And then,
Lucius in the middle, I say.
and then, Wolfric can run.
I have the passive perception. If anything tries to jump us, I should be able to see it. But
As you begin making your way down this corridor, it is a very strange cavern in the sense of it is a mixture of natural earth, so like you look up on the ceiling, you look at the walls, it is a very natural formation, though obviously it's very unnaturally made, but the floor to some degree is paved, like big cobblestone slabs, so it's not like this is an unintentional passage to somewhere. This was a very intentionally made route. As the further you begin to travel down this tunnel, you begin to lose the light of the moon. You are slowly engulfed with the light of Wolfric's fire, and it is not long before you are able to start hearing running water. Very, very fast flowing running water as you delve further into the earth. Eidolon, with your passive perception. Marcusar, you will be able to see this, just not as clearly, more kind of like hazing in and out of the flickering flames of the axe. You are able to see a bridge up ahead, Eidolon, or what looks like a bridge. Though the closer you get to it, you notice that it is in a very big state of disrepair, broken in half.
that's not ideal.
The gap isn't too big. You reckon for yourself you could jump it with ease. It's maybe only
The old man can't.
It's maybe only kind of 10-12 feet in terms of its width. That's not too difficult for you to jump across. However, getting everyone else, and then of course Lucius across, might be a little bit more problematic as you kind of gather on this small plateau at the top of this broken bridge. The four of you and Lucius can see that the path continues on ahead and then seems to almost wind and curve down a pillar of stone, where it then runs along as you look down the side of this very, very fast flowing underground river.
Does it look like there's anything on the other side that might be helpful for getting everybody over?
Not that you can see, though you can kind of see, as I said, there's this very large pillar of rock, so there might be something on the other side of it, as it looks like, from what you can see just dancing in the light of Wulfric's axe, it looks like part of the cave on the other side has caved in. So there might be something on the other side that you can use to get everyone across.
Should I go have a look in that case? Because I can easily get across.
Go forth, Eidolon. See if the way is safe.
Do I have to expend a key point to be able to have the jump distance to get across, or will I just be fine?
Yeah.
Yes to which part of that sentence?
Yes to the first part, you will have to expend a key point.
Cool. Easy peasy. As I'll just essentially... Eidolon would essentially gesture for everybody just to part a little bit, so he takes a step back and then just runs and leaps over the gap.
Parkour.
Yes.
He clears the gap with very little issue. Though you can see when you land on the other side, Eidolon, you can feel it, everyone else can see it, that several of the rocks under the bridge come loose and fall away. The bridge itself doesn't shift, but jumping doesn't seem to be like the best way to get across this, as the, I guess, vibrations are enough to make it even more unstable.
Just more out of character, Ranagash or Marksar, do you actually have any spells like Spider Climb or something that might help you get across?
Ooh, funny you should ask. I actually do have Spider Climb. It's one of my features.
You could use that to just literally go down and then just go back up.
Suppose I could do that.
Or like over the roof, because I think you can go over the roof.
Yeah.
Can't remember the specifics.
You can hang and move upon ceilings without being disadvantaged. Either that, or I'm thinking of the Vampire Spawn's version of Spider Climb, which is
one
also
willing creature you touch gains the ability to move up, down, and across vertical surfaces and upside down along ceilings while leaving its hands free. The target also gains a climbing speed equal to its walking speed.
Yeah, so maybe, Paul, if you do that, come over, then we can look together on this side to get the rest of them across.
Yeah, that seems ideal. I'll cast Spider Climb on myself.
Cool. And scuttle your way across.
Of course. I can... What does it say? I can move up and down, but I can also keep my hands free. So I imagine the Marksar is like the wrong trousers. Is like just... It's like going over the edge and he's just like walking down. He's not crawling down.
He just kind of walks up and over.
Yeah. And then he just walks up and then just like a classic British stop motion animation short film. Wallace and Gromit, the wrong trousers, just like that.
Such a good movie.
As Markstar, you're able to get over to the other side with little difficulties.
Actually, is like the bridge like going over like a river, or is it just like a big hole?
It is going over the river. So you can see part of the path is also below the bridge, so like as I said, it kind of coils round, but the majority of the bridge passes over a very fast flowing river. Oh,
so you probably have gone over rather than under.
Yeah. Likely.
Alright, let's get looking for something then.
Okay, I guess what would we be looking for? Just like see if there's another way across, or a way of fixing the bridge or whatever.
See if there's any other way across, like if it's like it's unlikely, but like a secret passage that would allow them to come through and around, or like if we can just find anything on this side, like big wooden planks that we could just lean down for them to walk over.
Yeah,
anything like that.
We look for that.
Give me an investigation.
What's your investigation, Paul?
My investigation is 0.
Mine is +3.
So
well, we both.
I imagine it'll be Eidolon with advantage.
Yeah.
Actually, no, it would be flat.
Why's that?
It would be flat, not with advantage.
Why is that?
Because neither of you have dark vision, and the light of Wulfric's axe doesn't go out this far.
Paul, do you have Produce Flame as a cantrip?
No, I don't.
Does he have light?
What was that, sorry?
Does he not have light? Did he not use that
light
before?
Cantrip?
I don't have the light cantrip.
Do you know?
Not at the moment.
Hilariously, I have a party that, in terms of the utility-based spells, are very untraditional. That's not bad, though.
15's not bad.
The two of you fumble around in the dark for a little bit. The further you
I
get
have
away...
Moonbeam, I can produce light that way.
Oh, dear God.
Paul, you have Moonbeam, and you're waiting on flowers that bloom in the light of the moon.
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't want to expend a stack.
You could have gotten in here so much faster.
I didn't think of that.
But, yeah.
Need not, win not.
The two of you are able to fumble your way around the dark, at least trying to find some things. It startles you slightly as you're kind of trying to search through a lot of the rubble of this cave-in, and you suddenly come across something that is not rock. It is very cold and kind of sticky. It is what is left of a decomposing corpse, likely caught by the cave-in. However, the decomposing corpse itself is actually kind of useful.
Excuse me.
Not the corpse. Not the corpse itself, more the corpse of what the corpse had on it. As this looked like it was one of the excavators that was probably, whenever this tunnel was constructed, whenever this tunnel was made, was part of the team to construct it. As from under the rubble, not a lot, but what remains is a mining pick, as well as a length of rope.
Ah, rope. Height rope.
Very good.
What kind of, just as a question about the corpse, would we be able to discern any, like, features that would, like, suggest, like, a race or something like that, or is it too decayed?
Not at this point in time, because the two of you can't see in the dark. You just know it's a body.
Unless you want to feel around a corpse.
That's Ranagash's territory, not mine.
You pick up the you pick up the pick, you pick up the rope, head back to the kind of broken bridge.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do with it?
In what way is the bridge broken? Is it just like planks missing, or is it like there's a whole side of the bridge that's like hanging off or whatever?
So it is a stone bridge. With a stone bridge with a single support. The single support has kind of crumbled and broken away, to which case the part of the bridge closest to, I suppose, like Wolfric and Ran and Lucius, where it was bearing, or the center support was bearing a lot of the weight, has just crumbled and fallen away, because there's nothing there supporting it anymore.
I say perhaps we anchor the rope on one side with the pickaxe.
Ah.
And then we chuck the rope across, they can all secure themselves. And then cross the bridge. In the event it fails, they all fall, but they're secured by the rope.
Yeah, definitely. That sounds a good plan.
Is there enough rope to do such a plan?
So, what do you mean, like, using the rope as more of a tightrope, or...?
Not like a tightrope, just like a way of securing themselves should the bridge collapse underneath them. So it's not like the rope is holding them up, it just more catches them if they fall.
Mm.
You know, like a guide rope or something like that.
So if they were to almost take the jump and didn't make it?
Perhaps. That's my plan. Is everyone else? Wolfric, does that sound very good to you?
Aye, that sounds good.
Ran, are you all for it?
Whatever.
Lucius?
I don't have much other options.
Great, we have a plan then.
So I start like throwing the rope, like to unfurl it over the length of the bridge.
Cool. It does go over the bridge and over the gap.
Good stuff. Eidolon, I think you'd be suited to securing it with your monkey business. As in monk. He's a monk. That's what I meant.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Yeah, I'll set to it in that case. To the best I can.
How are you securing it? Are you securing it with the pick, or are you securing it with a knot?
Could do a bit of both.
My thinking was like you like smash the pickaxe into the ground, sort of like get stuck there, and then tie the rope around the pickaxe.
I can certainly try. I do have a not terrible strength score, so I can give it a shot.
Strength.
Can I do it with athletics?
This is just raw strength.
Yeah, I might not be able to do this, Marksar.
And then it's sleight of hand.
13, actually, not too bad. hand, sleight of hand. I've not got a great sleight of hand skill.
But you've got good dex.
Yeah, but I don't have proficiency in it, so it's just nat 20.
Nice. You reckon it's pretty secure. The knot is definitely not coming out. The pick you're a little bit unsure of, but you can kind of just go with it. See what happens.
In that case, whilst they're coming across, I'd stay by the pick, holding it in place, to the best of my abilities, in case it fails.
So, trying to get across, who are you, I guess...
Oh, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna actually, like, spider climb, like, down the side of the face. And my hands are free, so I can, like, get ready to catch them, should they fall.
How long does spider climb last, just to make sure?
An hour.
Oh, dope. You're fine then.
Who are you suggesting goes first? You have Ranagash, you have Lucius, or you have Wulfric?
Ran, Lucius, me.
Cool.
Sounds like a good order.
Yeah. Rand tests how secure it is, Lucius, and then...
Then the heavy one.
And the heavy one last, yeah.
As because of your setup and because of what you guys have done to obviously prepare to get people across the gap, Ranagash, I need a dexterity saving throw, or a dexterity check. Sorry, acrobatics if you have it, with advantage.
We've earned ourselves an advantage. Thank you,
Let's
Paul.
go, boys.
2d20 KH1.
16.
Pretty good.
As Ran, you are able to get over without much of a hitch. You do kind of slip, and several of the rocks come loose, almost bouncing off of you, Marksar, as a few of the pebbles kind of fall from the bridge. But Ran is able to make it across. Marksar,
Oh, sorry.
can I get a dexterity saving throw from you with advantage?
This is with advantage.
Yes.
It's flat. I don't have any adds to it.
I'm the only one with dex.
Yeah, you're the only one with dex.
KH1. 14?
Not bad.
As Lucius takes the jump, you see him not quite able to get it. He is obviously secured by the rope. However, he falls, but you're able to catch him before he injures himself on the edge of the rock.
How do I catch him? Just like by his hands? Or like in my arms?
It's more kind of adept as he almost goes past you and you kind of more grab him. You can almost feel his shoulder pop out of his socket a little bit.
Okay.
But
Oh,
it's a little bit better than him smacking into the rock, and it's certainly better than him falling into the waters below.
Fair enough.
It's alright.
I'll help pull him up with the rope as I try and pull him up as well as I climb up the wall.
It's certainly not
Yeah,
as elegant as Ranagash.
Yeah.
I would pull some of the rope to help Marksar be able to carry this man up a bit easier.
As Eidolon, you notice that with that jump in particular, the rope itself frays a little.
Wulfric, be careful when you jump.
As Wulfric, it is your go. So it's just a dexterity check or acrobatics if you have it, with advantage.
Like, I know you don't have a lot of strength, Ranagash, but I gesture you over to come essentially hold the pickaxe down with me.
Okay, I can do that.
18.
You're kind of relieved in a sense, Marksar, as it means you don't have to try and catch Wulfric, as you reckon he'd probably be a little bit harder to catch than Lucius. But thankfully Wulfric makes it across very deftly, almost taking a small run and jump, barely needing the rope, as you get to the other side, and Marksar climbs up using his spider climb to rejoin you back on the, I suppose, flat ground, the horizontal ground, not the vertical ground.
Alright, and now let's just not think about how we're gonna get back.
Yeah, let's not think about that.
So there's a it kind of spirals down below us.
I take the pickaxe out of the ground, wrap it up in rope, and put it in my pack.
Now that we have the light, can we see the deceased corpse a little better?
Yeah, you can. It looks, I guess, relatively gross. You can see that there was an attempt to try and rescue him. A lot of his bones are crushed, but they've clearly been uncovered by rocks, like people have tried to lift them off to get him out. But then you see why he was probably kind of left, as quite a large boulder is planted itself on, obviously more rocks piled on top of it, but planted itself on his pelvis. So even if he was able to get out, was able to move, there's a good chance he wouldn't have survived anyway.
At all possible to discern a race, or...?
You can give me a perception or an investigation.
Would they yield the same result?
Yeah, it's more a way, are you looking at it or are you kind of poking around him a little bit more?
Rolled a 3, but it's a 10 total.
Not really. It's your guesses are most likely human or elvish, just because of body structure and bone structure, but a lot of the cartilage that would allow you to discern between the two has eroded.
Right. Not important, it was more just in case we could try work out like the sort of like scale or scape of what we're dealing with before we get in. That's fine.
As you begin to make your way down, past
Who
the kind
is
of...
leading?
Yeah.
I say keep same order.
Yep, same order's good.
As you kind of make your way down, spiraling around the rock column, and coming quite close to the very fast-flowing river. You can see that it's, I guess, flowing towards you rather than away from you. Obviously the water source is probably further in the cave somewhere. But the water is very dark, the water is very murky, and smells very damp. Kind of like, I guess, really muggy. Like warm damp rather than cold damp. Even being down here, obviously Wulfric's axe emits some heat, but you do notice that the cave itself isn't necessarily cold. It's quite warm down here.
Odd, but okay.
As you make your way a little bit further down, for how long in terms of walking you don't know, as unlike a torch or a candle, you can't really gauge the time for how long you've been travelling, as Wulfric's axe is permanently on fire. It doesn't diminish its flames at all, so it's not like a torch which starts to burn out after an hour. You're kind of losing your sense of time a little bit before the cavern starts to open out into a small room, completely undecorated other than these cobbles upon the floor. However, on the wall in front of you is the carving or the outline of what looks like a stone door. You can't see any hinges, you can't see any locks, you can't see any keyholes. It's just almost like a carving of a door rather than a real door. However, there is a relatively beautiful inscription upon it, that of what looks like a tree atop a tree in bloom atop a field of flowers, kind of taking center place in this door, with the crease or the seam of the door running right the way through it. There is also lettering upon the door, kind of arching over its crest, in a language none of you understand, though this is, I guess, where Lucius finds his confidence, kind of more shuffling to the forefront to translate for you, as he takes out one of his notebooks and begins sketching the door upon it and sketching the letters at the side. Again, some of the letters are familiar to yourself, Paul and Craig, but this is where I get it's a little bit more confusing, as these are sentences rather than anything else. As Lucius takes a little bit of time, you're kind of, I guess, waiting around for perhaps 5, 10, 50 minutes, you're not too sure, as he comes up with several different translations, but none that he's entirely happy with as he tries to decipher this door, before eventually turning to the four of you and sighing. I don't know how to open it, though every translation I can come up with is just confusing.
What are the translations?
The one I have settled upon, at least the one that I guess is most literate, the door reads, "Abandon your senses for faith. Let them be sacrificed, as only then you will see the truth."
I think I have an idea. 1 second. I will walk over to the door. I will extinguish the axe. Put it on my back. I will close my eyes and I will push.
Oh. So as you are plummeted into darkness, you can hear the running water. Ran, you are still able to see to some degree. Wulfric, as you push open the door, you push into nothing. Almost as if just there's an empty space.
I keep walking.
Cool. Marcusar, Eidolon, and I guess for Lucius, Wulfric seems to just disappear. He walks into darkness. Ranagash, you watch as he walks through a stone wall.
I guess I just turn to Marksar, since that was the person I was closest to there, just give him a shrug, and just walk after Wulfric.
Eidolon, you pass through. the door seems to have vanished. You get up to it almost expecting to bump into it, and it's just an archway. There's nothing there.
For a man who has very little understanding of magic, that was a good shout.
Can I open my eyes now? Can I?
Yeah, you're in a small room.
I never closed my eyes.
I turn around, I reignite the axe.
There's a stone door.
I turn it off again, so that everyone can get through.
Cool.
I say, I may not understand magic, but what I do understand is wordplay. It's a riddle. It's like it's a riddle, like in a children's book.
Wolfric did go to school. That is canon.
He's the only member of the group who went to a school.
It makes sense because I mean, if you think about it, like he leans in, it's like you think about it logically, right? It's like abandon your senses, and what's the most sense we use the most? It's our sight. So it doesn't want us to look at the door. It wants us to not see when we're pushing the door open.
I lay down delicious.
Ranagash is gonna have to close his eyes. Sorry,
Wolfric shouts through, Ranagash, you're gonna have to close your eyes to get through.
I figured as much.
I lay down delicious and say, I thought you would have figured that out.
The bookish scholar who spent the virgin scholar versus the Chad veteran.
I was never the best at puzzles, put it that way.
The virgin caster versus the Chad marshal.
As Lucius heads through to join the two of you, and then
I come up last.
Marcusar, and then Rand, you close your eyes to walk through.
Yeah.
As you truly have to abandon your sight, as technically you can still see in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
This is where the door is just racist against races with the dark vision, and he just slams into a wall.
Humans stay winning.
It's just, nope, you don't get to come through here, you half-orc.
Can't believe I got hate crimes by a door.
As one by one, you are able to pass through this door, where once everyone is on the other side, you and I'm assuming you light up your axe.
Yep.
To illuminate this room that you are in, which is a far cry from the stone caverns that the group of you have been walking down for the past wee while. It is mosaic stone, so like tiles, beautifully ornate in its design. Everything seems to be very smoothed. Where at the far end of the room, much to his excitement, is another carving, which Lucius seems to run to and grab to. It seems to be more of a plaque than a decorative piece. Though as the four of you, I guess, are more walking around and inspecting the room, you can see that upon each of the walls are 3 alcoves. And in each of the alcoves there is a statue, 6 statues in total. Kind of going around the room, so starting from your closest one on your left, so like 1, 2, 3, and then on the right top corner would be 4, 5, and then 6 on your right hand side. You see a male statue, so the first one is a male statue, that seems to be standing proud, holding a goblet as high above his head, almost as if he's won something. The second statue is a female, with a bow drawn and aiming an arrow, seemingly at a hunt of some kind. She looks very much like a huntress. The statue in the far left corner, in the far left alcove, is another female, wearing simple garbs and looking up towards the ceiling. She seems to be wielding no weapon, but holding a flower instead. The fourth statue, so in the top right corner, coming down that column, is another male statue. He seems to be focused on a tome. You see his stone brow furrowed, and in his other hand is a wand, almost as if he's attempting to cast some form of magic. The fifth statue is another male, standing with a sword in his hand and another array of weapons adorning his body. And finally, the statue in the bottom right-hand corner, to your right-hand side, is another female, who is not standing upon her podium, she is kneeling upon her podium. Though, I guess, unlike everyone else, she is a relatively curious statue in the fact that she has bandages over her eyes. Ranagash, Marcusar, and Wolfric, can you give me perception checks? As Eidolon, you will notice this with your passive perception.
Oh, dope.
You see nothing, Matthew.
As usual.
I love how
Sorry,
you
watch
can
it.
get unnatural ones. I love the fact you can get unnatural ones. 12
19.
and 19.
Nice.
Marcusar and Ranagash, you guys don't really notice this. Eidolon and Wulfric, you do. Amongst all the statues, more turning your attention, I guess, towards the mosaic floor, you notice that before each of the statues are scrapes in the ground, almost as if they've been pulled. Where they all seem to be pulled maybe a foot and a half away from their alcove, and then the scratches just stop as if they've been set into place.
We'll be able to push them back into the alcove.
You can see that where they were, or supposedly set in place, they almost have their own cobblestone slab resting underneath that point. And with your 19, Wulfric, when you're kind of walking around the room just observing, you can feel these, although not with your weight, you can feel these specific cobblestones almost shifting under your foot as if they're kind of pressure plates kind of bobbing up and down as you're stepping on them. Again,
Do
Lucius...
they have symbols on them? Do the plates have?
Nope, they're just blank. Again, Lucius takes a little bit of time, more mulling over this inscription, mulling over this carving on the base wall, scribbling it into his book and taking notes onto it, before turning to you and more smiling as it appears this translation has gone a bit smoother for him. I don't feel we can proceed any further, at least until we need to find the key.
What's the key?
Well, I will translate for you, as he kind of grins. As 6 we stand, but only one stands guard. They are the key, hidden in plain sight. The key is no weapon, but the key can kill. They wield it with faith alone, for it is all they need. I assume it refers to one of these statues.
Which pressure plate? Is there only one pressure plate?
There is 6 pressure plates, kind of, again, about a foot away from each of the statues.
Am I still forbidden from doing puzzle stuff?
No, you can help with the puzzle, Craig.
I would like to push the woman with the bandages over her eyes onto the pressure plate.
So, as you kind of bring her from her alcove, you scrape the statue across the ground. It's really easy to move. Even Wulfric, you're a pretty strong guy. Even with this, it's easy for you. It's not much of a challenge. You would reckon that a statue of this size would be pretty hefty, like pretty difficult to move. They move with relative ease, almost shifting and turning. They're definitely made to be moved. And as you move her onto the cobblestone pressure plate, she clicks into place and the pressure plate kind of sinks into the ground. However, nothing seems to happen as the room is entirely stationary for if only a moment. As Wulfric, your AC is now 18, yes?
Yes. Uh-oh.
As a 19 will hit.
I have a feeling we maybe should have talked through the statues a little bit. Maybe.
As you guys watch, Wulfric, you have almost no time to react as this statue almost seems to come to life. She kind of more turns her head up. You can hear the stone crack and creak as she looks at you. And from her kneeling position, she reaches out a hand to touch your shoulder. And I need some dice. 1, 2,
Some
3.
dice.
As you take 9 necrotic damage. As you watch as almost this living stone reaches out and more grips your shoulder, and you feel almost the icy hand of death cling to you that little bit too soon, as slowly after you just watch as this necrotic wave washes over Wulfric, the woman retracts her hand, returns to her position in the statue, and you watch as the pressure plate lifts her and returns her statue back to the alcove.
What was your line of thinking, Wulfric?
Stood guard. It can't always kill.
What was the riddle again, Lucius? So we make sure Wulfric didn't miss anything.
So as 6 we stand, but only one stands guard. They hold the key, hidden in plain sight. The key is no weapon, but the key can kill. They wield it with faith alone, for it is all they need.
Can I inspect the statue with the man with the... was it the wand? Correct. Can I inspect his statue?
Give me a wee investigation around him.
I have a small idea, but I'll wait till Paul's done.
He just more looks like a wizard or a sorcerer. You can see that the stone is done, like the carving is done very, very well. He looks very, very lifelike. You can even see words upon the page of his spellbook. They are written in a more runic language, so you can't actually tell what they're saying, but it seems to be that he's definitely more of a wizard. He is reading words from a page and then using his wand to, I suppose, imitate casting.
I'm not sure which one it is. Eidolon, Ragnagash, any thoughts?
Alright, so more out of game before I say anything in character. So my current line of thinking is that maybe this key, because it keeps on just being referred to as a key, what if it's not even to do with like pushing the statues onto the pressure plates? What if the key is like, what if Wolfric was onto the right track with the, essentially like the Lady Justice statue, but what if the actual key is just like speaking a word, just like justice? Because that's what they hold, rather than actually pushing the statue onto the pressure plate. It's
I was thinking, that's better than mine actually. I was thinking we all have to sing the exact same key.
But it's more just like it kept on being referred to almost like a metaphorical key. So it's like if it's just a word.
Everyone harmonise the marks are.
Is it E flat or E sharp?
I don't know. That's a good line of thinking actually.
Oh no, it's a little crackpot, but
No, like
Would Eidolon think of that though?
I mean I know I'd think of that, but I mean Eidolon does have an intelligence of 12.
I mean that's more than me.
Better than average.
I guess Eidolon would suggest that idea to Lucius. Of course the rest of the group would be privy to hearing that too, but it's more because Lucius is the one standing at the door.
Perhaps. I mean, the key could also refer to perhaps an item one of them holds. It's no weapon, but it can kill, so it's not the bow or the sword. Those are weapons, but...
Wolfric will walk over to the blindfolded one and will kind of crouch down beside it. Faith.
Nothing happens.
Justice.
Nothing happens.
Try mercy.
I stand up and I go over to the statue with the flower. Faith.
Nothing happens.
I am willing to trial and error in this shit.
I mean, if it's an item, that one is holding a flower. I don't know if it's synonymous or metaphorical.
You can't win a ball.
Wolfric, you went to school. Does this flower mean anything? Is it a metaphor?
Well, I don't know what colour the flower is. It's made of stone.
Worth a shot.
I'm not particularly familiar with any stone roses.
You do have a druid.
Bad joke, but yeah, I'll come over. Perhaps I can gain some insight.
I mean, I say that, Marcusar, I do need you to roll me a nature, so you might not know what this flower is.
I have proficiency.
Yeah, but you can still roll a nat 1, dude.
Unnatural 20.
I don't like this cocky attitude. Hey guys, do you want to go to the Gildenfell before you go to Summerhost so that Marcusar gets time out?
I'll behave.
As Marcusar, you are able to identify the flower in the woman's hand, not by its colour, more by its shape in terms of the bloom that she is holding, and you are able to identify it quite quickly as Nightshade. A very beautiful flower, but also a very poisonous flower.
Gotta do it.
Read me through the riddle again.
As 6 we stand, but only one stands guard. They hold the key, hidden in plain sight. The key is no weapon, but the key can kill. They wield it with faith alone, for it is all they need.
I'm going to try moving this statue onto the onto the pressure plate.
Right, go ahead.
Everyone stand back.
What is Marcusar's strength?
14.
You're fine then. As it's a little bit more difficult for you, obviously you're not as hench as Wulfric, but you are still pretty strong, and it is pretty easy for you to move this statue. As you move her from her alcove, you move her onto the cobblestone slate, onto the cobblestone pressure plate, and you hear it click, almost, I guess, waiting and expecting for her to come to life and attack you with some macabre magic. However, she does not. Instead, in the moments after the click, you start to hear a grinding noise as you watch as the back panel of her alcove slides away and begins to reveal another passage.
I'd turn around to the rest of the party like... Yeah. What can I say?
Except you're welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely was overthinking that.
Yeah, you were.
I definitely overthought that.
I liked your thinking though, but the lexicon was just too many words to have that idea, you know?
Mm-hmm. I get that.
Maybe later with a word puzzle though, that could be fun.
Puzzle rooms, everybody.
I like puzzles.
It was more just... The more reason I thought that it might not be the cobblestone slabs is because literally all of us could have just picked the statue, pushed it, and then if none of them work, just move on to the last two, push those until it worked.
I could tell you right now, one of you might have been dead before that occurred.
Yeah.
Remember which one?
Oh my god, it was the guy with probably the most hit points.
How many hit points do you have?
33.
37.
Doesn't
I
Marcus...
mean, it could have been the old man.
That's
He might
true.
die.
I can guarantee probably not though, because he has more than 37 hit points.
He's a wizard.
Right.
He also
Plus
did
one.
used to be the master of magic, so
True.
we should probably stop making fun of him.
Wulfric,
Power word kills one of us.
Fuck.
Wulfric, would you care to lead the way with your axe?
Wulfric
Hey, man.
puts the axe forward and heads through the passageway.
So,
Sorry, it's just the way you said that, like I thought Wolfric was the command word for a second. It was just like, Wolfric.
imagine that though, like
me fire, me hot pokey stick.
like you have like a magic item that the command word for the magic item is just your own name. Imagine being that egotistical.
But everyone around you is like, hey, Wulfric, and it's like, oh, Jesus, warn me.
Fuck.
Is that like the fancy equivalent of like personalising number plates with their name on it?
Magic weapons with your command word being your name.
This passageway that you end up finding yourselves down is a lot more narrow than anywhere else. You can't walk 2 by 2 here, and for Wulfric and Marcusar, just because you guys have I guess a little bit of a bigger frame, even Eidolon, it's a little bit tight for you. This starts getting claustrophobic very, very quickly, to the point that a small cave-in has happened just maybe halfway through the passageway, and you have to start like sidestepping Marcusar because it's just not wide enough for you to actually be able to walk down properly. As it continues to snake until it gets to a solid wall with no way seemingly how to open it. As Wulfric, you are in front, so this is, I guess, your kind of...
Is there any inscriptions anywhere?
Not that you can see, no.
I'm gonna turn off the axe and walk forward into the wall.
You walk into a wall.
It was worth a shot.
Worth a shot.
It was, yes.
Can't win a ball.
Reignite the axe.
You can give me a wee investigation if you want. As the rest of you are kind of almost seeing the axe turn on and off, and Wulfric almost stop dead in front of a wall trying to, I guess, work out what's...
Battery's dead.
the battery.
It's on the flipper.
You know, just like slap the axe on the bottom
22.
a little bit.
Fantastic.
Get the
Yeah,
batteries working.
Percussive maintenance.
So,
Yeah, because of it.
in your time growing up, Wulfric, you were obviously primarily a lumberjack, but that didn't mean you had a hand in other trades whilst in the village. There was obviously odd jobs that always needed done, and they always needed done by someone, and sometimes you and your dad would offer your services. Some of those were masonry jobs more than anything else. Sealing up stonework more than anything else, building walls for animals, barns, even some houses and shops, alongside supplying and helping with the timber work. The wall that's in front of you was not built I guess, from the other side. It wasn't like, so on the other side of the wall someone was building this wall. It was built from your side. So it was someone who came through this passage and then built the wall behind them. The cement holding the bricks together is quite flimsy, quite loose. It is more, you're likely the room you were just in and the cavern you were just in is, I guess, more of the back door than the front door.
Right. Everybody back off.
Yeah,
And
I'm taking that
Once
advice.
everyone's backing up, I will get into like a rugby scrum charge,
Yes.
Nice.
and I will sprint and shoulder check the wall.
Give me a strength with athletics.
You can do this.
Please don't break your shoulder, that would be really awkward.
20.
Nice.
Yes.
Unnatural 20.
As you watch as he shoulder barges it, you see as several of the rocks in the ceiling kind of dislodge, these smaller rocks kind of come down as it just almost vibrates, and with quite a lot of force as Wolfric charges into this brick wall. However, as you do so, it hurts a little bit. However, the leather pauldron that you got was quite helpful in this, as you are able to shoulder barge it with a lot of force and break down the wall, break down these relatively flimsy bricks and enter into quite a small room, kind of tumbling over some of the refuse and rubble.
Tumbles, kind of stands up, turns around, arms wide, and goes, "That's how you fucking do it, boys!"
Round of applause. Round of applause for the man.
Well done.
As the three of you kind of exit out of the very claustrophobic tunnels and into this very small room, perhaps 30 by 30 feet, very square, with very little decoration in it. Though standing side by side to a door are two stone statues, both with their hands outstretched. And in the hands of the left-hand statue, you can see a key.
Just the key? What
Just
about
the
the
key.
other statue?
There is nothing in the hands of the other statue. There is only a key in the hands of the left statue. The
Is there a
door
locked door in this room?
The door itself does have a keyhole.
How heavy does the key look?
Not very. It's an old-fashioned iron key, perhaps maybe 4 inches in length.
Mage hand?
What's in the hands of the other one?
Nothing. It's
Don't think
just
there is anything.
more just holding them out. Only the key exists in the hands of the left-hand statue.
I will place an amount of silver coins into the hands of the other statue, and then take the key.
So as you put the silver coins in the hands of the statue, nothing happens. Just you put coins in the hands of the statue. However, when you take the key from the other statue, you're not having a lot of luck with statues today, Wolfric. I'm telling you this much.
Oh no! Oh no!
As I need to get to the page to see if it will hit you, because I can't remember what its modifier is. It's that. That will hit on a 21.
Wolfric's like, haha, I have better AC now, and all these statues are like, haha, fuck you, no.
Wolfric fucking hates statues.
It's 13 damage. As you watch, or all of you will be able to hear as the silver coins from the other statue fall to the floor, and as Wolfric takes the key from the statue, it comes to life and smacks him across the room. To which case I need the 4 of you to roll me initiative.
Cool, we have to kill it now.
I thought it was going to be one hand has something, the other hand doesn't. You balance them out. You can take something.
Perfectly balanced as all things should be.
Wow, I'm the only one with an initiative modifier, and I rolled a 6. All things are balanced in the world.
4.
Oh no.
Well, luckily statues aren't known to have very high dexterity.
Don't
No,
jinx it.
they really don't have high dexterity.
Never mind.
Except tonight.
So he is technically in initiative order, but he's not actually going to do anything unless he's hit. And then Matthew. This is like the worst initiative order I think I've ever seen. It goes
Yeah.
18, 16, 11, and then it's 6, 4, 4, 2.
Jesus.
It's literally one of the worst initiative orders I've ever seen. As top of the initiative, it is you, Paul.
This is I.
It is
I
you.
rolled a 16. I thought you said there was an 18 going.
It is, but it's Lucius, but he's not getting involved unless he has to.
Bitch.
Exactly.
I agree with Paul on that.
You're the
bitch.
ones that are protecting him, not the other way around.
Oh, he could help.
Wolfric, are you alright?
I'll be fine.
Do you want me to
Bleeding's
heal?
internal. That's where the blood's supposed to be.
I would like to cast Cure Wounds on him.
You just kind of go up and heal.
Yeah. Let's see.
For Wolfric.
My lung is collapsed and I can't feel my left hand.
Hopefully this will help.
As you get 7 health back, Wolfric.
Statues, yeah, they're obviously made of stone and stuff.
Mhm.
But my axe, I don't think it would do well on stone. I think it would like shatter it.
I mean, it's definitely going to blunt it.
But I'll take a swing at it anyway if I can get it alive.
Yeah.
Does a 12 hit?
Nope.
Oh, no.
As these things look like they're perhaps a little bit tougher than regular stone.
Yeah, I would have thought.
Strange that. As Matthew. What's
Okay,
Ran
so
gonna do?
First question, do I have my mage armor? We're traveling, so... Do we? Yeah? Okay.
Yeah,
Alright, is it just the one so far that's alive?
there's 2.
Okay, I thought that was the case. The 2 of them are alive.
The one on the left
Hmm.
obviously kind of beat Wolfric. The other one is not beating anyone yet, but doesn't look friendly, let's put it that way.
Mm-hmm. Alright, okay. You know what? Let's go for the one that hasn't Wolfric because he should be able to handle that one. I'm just gonna magic missile it because no, fuck it.
They were more
10 damage.
10 damage.
Sounds like a very curious Frenchman.
Con damage.
Have you met Tendamage?
Oh, oui, oui.
Apologies to any French people watching this.
No
Just
offense,
like
but you have, no offense, but you have funny accents.
I mean, to be
He's
fair,
got a
so do
point.
we, so...
Yeah.
You are
Okay, the new.
Okay, the new Ken fit like Ken.
Craig,
Yeah.
it's your turn in combat.
Is it now? Alright, so Wolfric did get punted by one. Wolfric did get healed, but I'm assuming you still don't look tip-top shape, Wolfric?
I presume I'm prone or like leaning against a wall.
Yeah, you're more against a wall than prone. It wasn't quite enough to knock you prone, but it certainly took you off your feet enough to send you against a wall.
Cool. I'll go for the one that punted Wolfric in that case, more try to take the heat off of Wolfric.
Cool.
More for aesthetics sake, since I'm not wielding exactly a metal sword anymore, it's a little bit more fragile than that. When measuring up where to hit, instead of just striking really anywhere, Eidolon would more stop, take a moment, measure up, see if there's any cracks in the rock. It is quite an old statue by the look of it. Before taking a strike.
Cool.
It's more the aesthetics sake more than anything else.
Yeah. As technically this is the first time he'll have actually used his obsidian sword to attack something, rather than just train.
21.
That'll hit.
It's more just taking both hands on the sword, kind of sweeping up, more noticing like a small crack around like the pelvis of the statue. More just trying to strike for that bit. What is my... So that is 11 damage. And then more just striking in and then pulling out. I'll be spending a key point for patient defense. More just hoping I've gotten its attention more than anything else.
As Wolfric.
Right. Bonus action, second wind.
One of the things you do notice, just as you're kind of against the wall, almost taking your breath, taking a moment, you actually have the key in your hand. You were able to take the key from the statue before it hit you. You actually have the key.
Can I walk up to the door and unlock it with my... Because I get a free interact with an object action, don't I? Can I use that to unlock the door?
You will have to pass by the statues. Well, at least one of them. One of them seems a little bit preoccupied with Eidolon. You will have to pass by the... I guess the one you gave silver coins to.
Yeah, I'll unlock the door.
22.
Hits.
This isn't going well for you with statues today.
10 damage.
Okay.
As you unlock the door, you can hear it click, you can hear it, I guess, open, and you guys watch as Wolfric kind of just goes up, unlocks the door, and then all of a sudden almost gets backhanded through the door.
I'm gonna use... I still have my action.
You do, yes.
I'm gonna get up, walk back, and I'm gonna hit it with the flaming axe.
Give me a smack.
Girl is on fire.
No, it's this axe is on fire, Craig.
25.
That's gonna hit.
So this is, so first that's 12 points of fire damage, and then an additional 1d6, but I can reroll ones. As long as it's part of the weapon attack. So that's a total of 15 damage.
Yo.
Which is not insubstantial. Waiting so desperately for that sweet, sweet extra attack.
Yep, end my turn there.
One more level, Ewan. One more level.
As it is now Golem A and B's turn. My little constructs. 27 hit you, Eidolon.
Is that with disadvantage?
19 hit you, Eidolon.
Reaction, it misses.
Cool. I forgot about your
There we go.
patient defense. And then a 22 to hit you, Wolfric.
How do these things attack, by the way?
More just
Just to anesthetize how I can shield.
more just kind of clobbering you. They don't have a weapon in their hands. They're more just trying to almost slam you.
So more if it just like raises its fist and tries to slam down, I put my left hand up, almost conjure the shield, and as it slams into it, more just push the energy out to almost knock it backwards. Energy. This isn't good.
That's 15 damage, Ewan.
Holy shit!
As this thing is not very happy that you hurt it, and hurt it pretty badly. As you're almost on this kind of, like, I guess, balcony that you've now found yourself on after being kind of blasted through the door. The two of you are kind of locked into combat. As Paul.
Are you still okay, Wolfric?
No!
Not anymore.
Could I run up to Wolfric and cure wounds him again?
Yeah. Well, actually, if you run up to him, you will run past the golem, so the golem will get an attack of opportunity on that Paul.
Yeah, fair.
How many hit points do you have, Mark? Sorry.
What is? How many hit points do I have? I don't remember these things. I have 36.
You're not going to have 36 for much longer.
Oh, swell.
Well, I need to hit him first.
22. Hence,
Yeah,
he's not gonna
22.
he's not gonna have hit points for much longer. 16 damage.
Ooh, okay.
As you are smacked and smacked quite hard, as you almost are knocked, kind of lunging to heal Wolfric.
Yeah. Am I still able to heal him?
Yeah,
I've
you
been
are.
knocked down?
It fucking hurts.
Yeah, it fucking sucks. I grab Wolfric and I heal him for 2d8 plus 3. 11 HP.
That's not bad though. That's 11 HP more than he had before.
Yeah, but wish that one wasn't a 1. Ones are always bad to see. Unless you're a fighter, because you can reroll them.
Only if you have great weapon fighting though.
Only if you have great weapon fighting.
Yeah.
Which means you have to only use two-hand weaponry.
As Maftu.
Okay, are both the golems still within line of sight?
Mhm.
Okay, Okay, then I'm gonna use my fancy new toy and double firebolt.
Double fire.
Yo.
Dual wielding!
Okay, let me mark off that charge first, and then is it 2 separate attack rolls? Yeah.
It is, yes.
Cool.
Like the twin spell.
2d20 plus 5, just like this. So that's an 11 and a 21.
The 11 won't hit, the 21 will hit.
So it's just regular 1d10 damage. Kablamo. 9 fire.
Cool.
Hope
As-
these things don't resist fire.
They don't.
Excellent.
However, they're definitely not looking very happy that you guys are actually dealing damage to them. If a stone could speak, it would be telling you to fuck off.
That's
As
fair.
Craig. Eidolon's go.
I guess after having pushed this back with that sort of shield of energy, it's more pushing forward, taking the sword more for a stabbing maneuver into the part I already cut into.
Mm-hmm.
Always about the aesthetic.
Aesthetic.
Yep, plus 6. 25?
That'll hit.
Yo.
Not bad damage rolls. Well, not bad to hit roll. We just need a decent damage roll. 15 damage. Hate to see that one. And then, after seeing what happened to Wolfric and Marcus when he got hit, I'm gonna go for another key point for patient defense.
I don't want to be hit by these things.
We're just like, you know what? I'll pass on being hit. I've got 37 hit points, but I still don't want to be hit.
Okay. My turn.
Go,
Like,
Ewan.
I'm gonna roll to hit. 15.
That'll hit.
Yes.
Can it give me sorry, give me a sec. I just need to confirm something. Can it give me a strength saving throw?
That's unusual. 17.
It passes. However, it still takes the additional damage.
It
You
does,
still
yes.
take the damage.
It's one thing I kind of like about the superiority die is it's like, haha, I passed the save. Yeah, but you still take the damage, dude.
There we go. That is a total of
18?
18 damage. 18 points of fire damage.
Nice.
As I do some quick
I
math.
love Battle Masters. Battle Masters are one of the best, if not the best, fighter subclass.
When do your superiority dice become D10s? Is it 10th level? I want to say it's 10th level.
No, I think it might be sooner than that.
At 10th level, they become D10s.
For some reason, my mind thought it was 8th level.
Fires don't get an 8th level,
No, they get I get a 7th level feature. I get Know Your Enemy.
which isn't that great.
I mean,
Question,
it's
is
kind
Matthew
of
frozen
cool.
for anyone else?
No, Matthew's fine.
Okay, he's frozen for me with his eyes closed.
He just wants to appear ominous, Paul. He just wants to be ominous.
But in this
Decent,
campaign,
yeah.
it could be useful.
That is true.
Good point.
So that would be...
No, he's not frozen anymore. I was going to take a snap of it.
You guys are doing some sizable chunks to these guys.
Yeah.
As it is...
This is when they deal sizable chunks back to us.
I mean, yeah, it's their turn, so...
Here we go.
Let's try and not use my I want to kill the party dice.
Why do you even have those?
I don't. They just have a vendetta against all my parties. As the golem misses you, Ewan,
Lucky.
and the golem also misses you, Craig.
Nice.
Not having a good round this round as they attempt to swipe, though you're getting used to their maneuvers, you're getting used to their movements, and you're able to counter them a little bit better.
Well, for at least me, I like to imagine keep still having the sword in, more just taking a hand off as it swings its arm down, more just sidestepping out the way, but keeping the sword in its body.
As Paul.
Well, here's a round in combat where I haven't had to heal Wolfric. Don't really have much else I could really do. I guess I'll try my hand at poison spray towards the golem in front of me.
Cool.
Oh,
Here's a question. Does poison spray do anything else other than poison damage?
it's just poison damage.
Nothing happens.
Sick.
It just kind of
Paul, just
coats the statue in a little bit of poison.
Just a
Oh,
note
right.
for future reference, Paul. Most constructs are immune to poison, just flat out.
Yeah.
It's because they don't have.
Marksar's too dumb to know that.
It's because they don't have an airway system, so.
Also, I figured out what you were getting confused with. I don't go up. I don't. My superiority die don't become D10s at 7th level. I get another one at 7th level.
That'll be what. Yeah, that'll be what I'm mistaking it. I thought it went up, but no, you'll just get another one.
7th, 10th, and 17th are when I get more maneuvers and another dice.
That makes sense.
Those are some weird levels for it.
It's the same level I get subclass features.
Yeah.
I thought it was 18th or 17th.
Marksar, realizing that his poison spray is done go, except make it coated in poison, which might help it. I'm going to try to swing with my axe now. Does 12 hit the golem?
Nope.
It just glances off.
Maybe it's the poison. Maybe it's just made it too slippery.
Maybe it's me.
Yeah, I've greased him up now. It's like Charles Bronson.
Greasy golem.
I don't want a greasy golem. Thankfully, they're stone and not flesh. Paul. No, Matthew. Ray. Do something, please. Anything.
I'm just gonna do what I did last time and just, double fireball, because that seems to go pretty well. 2 to 20 plus 5. That's a 7 and a 21.
The 7, no, the 21, yeah.
1d10. 5 fire damage.
I'm assuming your twin firebolts are going towards the 2 different golems.
Yeah, I have to. Can't do them on the same guy.
Shit.
Because it's 2 targets, not like 2 casts.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's me.
As Craig.
How's the golem I'm fighting actually looking at this point? Still pretty good?
It's looking a little sluggish, but other than that, it's looking alright. Looking a little chipped.
With the sword still in it, I'd essentially just, I'll roll and see what if I hit, I hit. If I don't, I don't. 20 plus, I think it's still. Does a 17 hit?
Yep.
Still two-handing it because I have no reason not to be two-handing my weapon right now. That is 15 damage. Is it still alive?
2 minutes just doing some math. Yes.
Does it look very alive, or...?
It looks like it's crumbling, but it looks pretty stable.
Cool. More just pushing it in, I push the blade a bit more through, pull it out, and then just, essentially just cut back into the hole one more time, but more from the side rather than push forward. I'm going to make a risky play, and I'm not going to patient defense this time, just so I can hold on to that last key point. And we'll see how that goes for me. As with my bonus action, I'll punch it instead. Because I can do an unarmed attack as a bonus action without expending a key point. I'm assuming 11 misses, though.
Yes.
Yeah. More just try punching the thing's torso and then realizing, this thing's made out of, stone. This probably wasn't the best idea.
As Ewan.
Time for another attack. 12.
Misses.
In my turn there.
He's being conservative with his action surge today, lads. Don't need you right now. Do need these. We'll see if we'll see if your patient defense was necessary or not. Craig, rainbow or green?
I'm gonna say rainbow.
Cool. Ewan, the golem misses you. Craig, a 24 hit.
I can't even shield that. Yep, that hits me. This is gonna hurt.
Ah.
Oh no, that's a bad sound.
Does this count as a projectile?
No. No, it does not. As that would be 26 damage.
It's fine.
What do you mean?
Does this count as falling damage?
No. It's just
Cool.
bludgeoning damage as it smacks you this way till Sunday.
I've gone from 37 hit points to 11.
Jesus.
As this golem is not messing around.
I only have so many healing spells to go around, boys.
Maybe a rest after this. You know, pitch a tent.
Not a bad idea.
See, none of them are actually very useful at the moment. They're actually probably going to hinder you guys more than they're going to be useful. So, Paul.
Back to me.
Yep.
Can I cast a healing word in the direction of Eidolon?
You can. Yes.
Very much appreciated.
A measly 4 hit points back.
That's 4 more hit points than I had.
Every little helps, Paul. Every little helps.
Mhm.
Yeah. I would like to attack with the axe again.
Cool.
21.
That'll hit.
Ooh, I actually did something.
Which one are you attacking?
Which way am I attacking?
No,
Just
which
sort
of
of-
the golem?
It'll be the one that's attacking Wolfric, because that's the closest one to him.
Yeah. So, that is a d6. 7 succeeded.
Your axe doesn't seem to do much in the way of damage, but it is damage nonetheless.
Damage is damage. Every little helps.
As Matthew, it is Ranagash's turn.
How's the one in front of Eidolon?
It's looking alright. It's not looking great.
That's not a good sign.
Like it's
Okay,
it's
I might-
starting to crumble, it's starting to chip, but it's still fighting.
Might need some big boy damage here. So I think what I'll do is I'll upcast Magic Missile second. Just
Thank you.
absolutely make sure it just does not. There we go, that's pretty good.
Not bad.
14 damage.
We'll see if it's dead though.
Nope.
Nah, I don't think so.
It is not looking great. You notice as your magic missile chips some of its shoulder, chips some of its side, even takes away some of its leg, but it is still raring for a fight. As Eidolon.
Cool. I like to imagine the magic missiles coming from the side, almost batted away from because the sword would currently be embedded in it, but it would almost stumble back because of the magic missile. So got the sword ready, and I'm gonna try to get rid of this. I'm gonna miss now. I know that. 17 to hit.
That'll hit.
12 damage. How does it look?
Not great.
More just taking the chips on its shoulder, Eidolon with 2 hands, swing the blade into its shoulder with the new chips in it, and then almost, I like to imagine, knock it slightly further, closer to the ground, and then there's an arm strike. I am just gonna try punch its head.
You crazy mother.
That'll miss.
Yeah, that'll miss. It really hurts. You
Christ.
punch a rock in the head.
Right. My turn.
That's fine. That's fine. It's not fine, but alright.
That'll hit Wolfric.
Just put it in the ground, Wolfric, please.
16.
It's still up.
Oh.
Jesus.
You could action surge.
Action surge.
I like the contemplation for that one. It was just action surge.
Could
I'm
also
giving
use your
peer
superiority
pressure.
dice to give it advantage.
Nah, that
Ewan?
misses.
You could use your bonus action superiority dice and have advantage.
I've already rolled.
That's fair.
He took the chance.
Also, Ran, what are your portents for today?
Yeah, they're where are they? The
10
10
and
and 13.
13.
They're very middle of the road, which makes them very awkward to use at all.
Yeah. Because you can't really use them on the enemy because these guys, well, you've seen they've got pretty high modifiers, and then, I mean, they might give you that little edge for using them for attacks, but it's not going to be great.
Feel free to use the 10 on the one trying to hit me, because I can probably shield to 21 and stop it from hitting.
That was the plan.
I feel pretty confident about that.
So when that one attacks, I will cry. Is it attacking now?
It is, yes.
Then it will have this 10.
Cool. So it will be an 18 to hit you.
Cool, shield, it'll miss.
There we go.
More as it swings around from the side, it's more just casting his hand almost like a backhand towards its attempted attack, just to knock its hand away.
And Marcusar.
This door is open, by the way. Like, these two golems are just kind of confined in this room, right?
Well, Ewan's kind of fighting one half in the doorway and half out of the doorway. It's kind of how you had to squeeze by to heal him, as it decides that, well, it wants to take a swing at you.
Oh, it's going for you.
And I'm assuming a 17 will hit.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have hit Wolfric.
It wouldn't have hit Wolfric, but my dice decided that Marcusar was going to get hit and not Wolfric this time.
You know what? I appreciate the honesty.
As you take 12 damage. Nope, I lied. 17 damage.
17 damage?
Yeah,
Ooh, I'm on
I
3.
forgot to add the modifier.
You're on 3?
As
No more
Maybe you wanna
healing.
make heals for yourself.
as more like annoying or as he freezes for me. There you go.
All's frozen. I need to get a screenshot of that.
There you go. As more like an annoyance or I guess like a persistent buzzing insect, the golem just swats and bats you out of the way.
Christ.
With quite a powerful swing, shall we say. As it is now your go, Paul.
I'm on... Screw you guys, I'm cure witnessing myself.
Good idea. You're gonna die if you don't.
This is 2d8.
Not just
Nice.
being the healer, but healing other people. Being the healer is also making sure you yourself don't die.
I like how when you heal everyone else, like you maybe roll like a 2 or a 1 or a 3 and then you roll yourself and it's an 8 and a 5.
Big heal.
Big heals for myself.
With the one hand, heal myself, and with the other hand, swing at the golem. Would that be an action? So I forgot that cure wounds are an action.
You can bonus action it.
Let's go. Bonus action, swing at the fucker.
Or what do you lose when you do that? Is it ability modifier or proficiency bonus?
So traditionally it's ability modifier, but I take it as you lose your proficiency bonus unless you're otherwise proficient in offhand attacks.
I don't have proficiency in any of it.
Yeah, so it's just a strength.
You're strong.
Because I kind of take it that you're not traditionally trained in offhand attacks. That will hit though.
Not at all.
So why would you normally be proficient in them? It does essentially mean that I think it's the duelist feat, or the one of the fighting styles. Essentially,
Weapon fighting.
you essentially switch that round. So rather than adding your ability modifier with me, you add your proficiency bonus instead.
And I hit it for 4 damage.
It hurts more you than the golem, as your axe kind of almost bounces off and kind of reverberates off of it a little bit. But you did a little bit of damage as you chip away at the stone.
My axe is probably getting fucked by this.
Yeah, you're gonna need to sharpen it after this. It really doesn't look like it's in the best shape.
Yeah.
As Ranagash.
How are the two golems looking?
Both look pretty fucked.
Very golemy.
Okay. I think we might need to double up again. I think we need the damage at this point. We're fucking dying here.
We're fucking dying here. You're
Yeah,
not
that's
dying
what I
enough
would
for
do.
Lucius to get involved though.
Yeah, but still, never hurts to
I
be
think my roll 20 crashed.
Yeah, your name's not appearing there.
Oh no.
Give me a second, I'm launching back in.
I'm gonna use my other port on one of these because may as well get something in that. No. And then so the other one will be. Don't want to scream it. 30-20.
So
I get 2.
use the 13 and get a dirty 20.
Yeah. How do you just roll them together and just separate them?
So that'd be what, 13 plus 5 is an 18.
Mm-hmm.
And then 20, and so both of them hit, and then with the damage,
Just 2d10 and then just split it.
Yeah, we can just split it down. Or you can just roll a d10 and then roll a d10 again.
4 and an 8. Not great, but
So the golem that is fighting Eidolon, more the force of the hit than anything else, kills it. As the stonework starts to illuminate and starts to almost smoke and sizzle as you heat it up. And the other one seems alright though. It doesn't look great, but it's not dead.
I'll take that.
As Eidolon.
Yeah, so if the one in front of me is dead, more just instantly turn to the one that's fighting Wolfric and Marcusar. More just take a space where I'm not close to the two of them to, accidentally hit them in a slice. And more just... I'm assuming since the one that they've been fighting has been damaged quite a lot, it's got quite a few chips in its body.
Yep.
More just aiming in front of them, almost spinning around and taking a strike at that. I'm assuming a 13 misses.
It does, yeah, just.
Cool. I'm just gonna punch. I want to be able to punch this rock effectively one day. Not that one.
that punches the rock effectively.
It's gonna be a D6 next level. So excited. So that is 6 bludgeoning damage. What is it?
Is that
How'd you want to kill it with your punch?
So more just like coming in, spinning around, taking a slash at it, more just like almost like twanging into it, recalling the blade before it would take any serious damage, and then just clenching the fist. If there's maybe like a chip around its neck, just go for that, punch that, and the head just kind of pops off.
As its body follows suit and begins to crumble.
Shoryuken!
As the 4 of you are out of combat, I guess with Lucius almost dusting himself off in the corner, as he steps over piles of rubble and makes his way through the door onto this balcony where you were fighting, Ewan.
Bloody well good you did.
You are here to protect me. I am not here to protect you.
A little bit of backup could have been appreciated, but anyway.
He does have a point.
Do you mind if we take a little bit of a rest before we continue forward?
Perhaps a short rest where we could regain hit die.
Strangely specific.
Oh. Only a short rest. I'd like to get moving. I'd like to see more of this place. So far, it is quite interesting.
Can we all just sort of chill on this balcony?
Yeah.
What does the balcony look over?
So it's kind of like a stately balcony in the terms of like it is just a flat balcony with 2 staircases, though the right hand staircase is very much destroyed. It seems to overlook a very ornate archway at the very far end of the room, where you can see frescoes being painted upon the walls, but you're not too sure what they depict as you're not down obviously looking at them. They just look very ornate and very pretty. What catches your eye, however, stands at the centre of the room. Or at least the bottom floor at its centre. As almost like a fountain, though no water is there, instead it is soil and quite a lot of dead plants, is a statue resting upon quite a high pedestaled podium. Where upon the statue is a man and a woman carved from stone. Very elaborately carved from stone. You can kind of see the man is quite tall in terms of his posture. He's quite slender in his build, though is quite clearly quite strong. And he is holding the woman kind of almost in a swooning position, like she is almost like she's just fallen over and he's just caught her midway and they're kind of almost looking at each other. The woman herself is carved quite beautifully. She is quite a curvaceous woman, even in this posture. Though the thing that kind of strikes you about her is not so much her figure or her silhouette, but more the waterfall of curly hair that seems to almost fall down from the podium and into the bed of flowers. Just this almost never-ending mass of hair, as the two of them are embracing one another. Though with the 4 of you and Lucius taking a short rest within this room upon this balcony, we will end it there for tonight, and we will allow your explorations to continue next time.
Fair enough.
Spooky.
Spooky. Leave us.
I'm getting a
Sort
kind
of.
of vibe that these statue people are probably the same people Ranagash saw in his vision. That's just a crackpot theory.
Spoilers.
Also,
Save that for the after show talking fates.
Ah.
As a little side note for yourselves, boys, as well, because I never did this when you got to 4th level, so I feel like I should do this. Just when you guys do level up, you do get your extra attack, Ewan, as you guys for next week level up to level 5.
We did it! We did it!
I don't actually know what I get at level 5. I'll have to look it up.
Do we get all our hit points back because we've leveled up, or do we just level up?
So, with your hit points, so level up your maximum hit points as you normally would, but keep your current hit points separate, if that makes sense.
So our current hit points stay the same even if our maximum hit points go up?
Yeah.
Oh.
It'd be different if you were long resting and stuff like that, but take
not.
the rules of the short rest as you would a short rest, but increase your maximum hit points.
My intimidation is now a +1!
So that'll work the same
I
way.
get nothing at 5th level. No.
You get proficiency bonus up and new spell slots.
You get new spell slots, Paul.
That's it.
Which means you
Yeah,
get
but
to
still.
you get to prepare some new spells, which is what I was about to say for yourself and for Ranagash. Your spell slots and stuff, just kind of treat them as a normal level up. Don't try and like pretend you didn't get them.
Yeah.
Like just treat that side of it as a normal level up. The only bit you treat slightly differently for this is your hit points.
Fair enough. I wanted to ask a question. Like, everyone's rolled different numbers of hit dice in the chat. So, like, you would roll 3. Craig
I
rolled.
rolled 2.
I have...
Okay, what was that? Was that 4 plus 2 in the end?
So
That was me rolling my hit dice for leveling up.
So
Oh, of
it's
course,
the
sorry.
rolling like hit die for leveling up, and then rolling hit dice as in getting health back.
Okay. But, like, Matthew rolled 1 and Craig rolled 3.
Yeah, so when you roll your hit die during a short rest, you have a pool of hit dice equal to your class level.
Okay.
Ooh,
So-
that's not nice, Matthew.
So Matthew decided to roll another one for
So for
Or is that his
example,
level?
that's his max health. That's how much his max health
Oh!
being increased. You guys, so you are level 5 now, so you have access to 5 hit die,
Yeah.
which means that you can, during a short rest, expend up to 5 of your traditional hit dice to regain health. So for yourself, Craig expended 3 of his hit die, which means he would have had a hit dice left.
Let's go.
You don't have to expend all your hit dice at once. You can expend as many as you want depending on how your health is currently looking during that rest. And then you get them all back
And
on
then
a
all
long rest.
Did all 5 anyway. Because I need health. I'm a squishy boy.
You are a very squishy boy.
I can't do our math. Hold on. I'm definitely at max, surely.
But you want not on 3 hit points.
Yeah, by curing.
Or
Cure wounds
cure
myself
wounds
to
as well.
19.
Then you will be on full hit points, yeah. Because
Yeah,
there's
but I
no way
actually
you
don't
have 47 hit points.
Yeah, and I don't even know what my new hit point maximum is. So that's a.
You need to roll a d8, I'm pretty sure.
Mhm.
All of us have rolled pretty not great for it so far.
No.
Not plus con. It's just on its own, right?
Yeah, it's plus con.
Another 7, so that puts me up to 43. Wait, hold on. Yeah,
That's
41 hit points.
How many hit points you on, sorry, pal?
It said 36, but when I went to type it in, it changed to 34. I was just like, I've had
It's
that glitch on
It's because you've
this folder.
It's because you've
What?
not. So you got your maximum hit point in the Citadel reduced by 1,
Ah, that was it.
which means when you had a long rest and I told you to fix it, you likely fixed it but didn't save the document after you fixed it. So
Exactly.
it'll have reduced you back to 33 instead, or 36.
Okay, I'm fine now. I don't want my hit point max.
What's your max hit points now, pal?
No, it should correct, it should be 43, I believe. Yes, because I was on 36. I got my hit point reduced to 35. I don't know why it said 34. Maybe it's 35. God, I need to keep better track. I need a physical copy.
If your max hit points were only reduced by 1, then your hit points should have been 35.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so 42. That's my new hit point maximum. We'll go with
Oh,
that.
twinsies!
I've got 39 hit points,
We're both 42.
but I got higher
Yeah,
AC.
You do, yeah.
I need to keep a physical copy of my character sheet. Because
really do.
digital copies always mess up for me.
But I'll let you guys obviously level up the rest of your characters for next week.
I'm done. I've done it.
You're easy though, you're a fighter. It's just extra attack, yay! And I hope you enjoyed tonight, kind of breaking up your little bit of visit in Tenon and the start of this relatively mysterious dungeon. But yeah, I hope you boys enjoyed, and I hope everyone watching enjoyed, and hopefully we'll get to the end of the dungeon next session and you won't die.
It's our first dungeon, guys.
Dungeons
Puzzles!
and Dragons, and we're in a dungeon?
I wonder where the
And I'm the
dragon is.
Dragonborn.
Yeah.
We'll see you all next time. So, bye from me and my boys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.